Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to episode 51. Episode 51 featuring Artie B. Canaii Jr., legendary baseball player, legendary softball player, multi talented, umpire, woman softball coach, boys little league coach, so he's done it all, man. So it's gonna be an interesting episode, but good evening to everybody. Welcome. Hope everybody had a safe, happy Thanksgiving. Hope everybody was safe traveling and everything. Hope you guys had fun and spend your time with your family and stuff like that. So much love to everybody, much love. So good night to everybody. Good night. Hope everybody having a good week. Everything good with me, everything straight. So I'm just excited for this episode. All the episodes is just going by so fast, man. We already at 51. So time is moving. So I'll get right into the shout outs, man. I'll just kind of acknowledge some people doing the whole thing, business owners, just showing some love, to all the business owner representing the Virgin Islands. So we start off with legends340.com, legends340.com. Also, we got Savory Eats LLC based out of Orlando by Sheena Fontaine. We got the Good Life Apparel. We also follow on Instagram at Melting Pot Cooking Class. Big up to Andrea and also meltingpotcookingclass.com. We also got Siboney Caribbean Restaurant. We also got Apollo Legion. Also follow on Instagram at Island Destiny 340 Serenity Braids by Nikki. Also, we got Rico Canario. His website is www.lulu.com/spotlight/R Canario. We also got Right Way Service Station located in Princess next to Avis. We also got Dave Paris with Paris Enterprise. Also follow on Facebook at Live Wire Sports. Live Wire Sports, follow on Facebook. They always go live every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, which is VI time. We are Eastern right now. So make sure you guys follow them on Facebook every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Live Wire Sports. We also got Midnight Entertainment. Follow on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok at The Real Midnight. Also follow on Facebook at Real Midnight ENT. So big up to Frenchie, Jacksonville, Duval. Big up. Also big up to Chico Harris, Next Level Up Printing. Also, we got OliviaDesir.com. Holidays coming up, so you guys could check out that website. Big up to Bubbles Promotion. Also follow on Facebook at Brino's Kitchen. Brino's Kitchen got a food sale coming up this Saturday. I think it's December the 5th. Yeah, this Saturday, food sale. So if you in the Kissimmee area, Orlando, or just on the outskirts of either one, you guys could kind of hit her up. Brino's Kitchen food sale coming up this Saturday. Also follow on Facebook at City of Refuge Worship Center. They live stream every Sunday at 10 a.m. So big up to Mona Barnes. Much love to Mona Barnes. Also, we got Carlos Hawkins with AIM Credit Repair LLC. AIM Credit Repair LLC. So if you guys need help with your credit, you guys can hit up Carlos. Also, we got Calypso Clothing LLC. Big up to Dwayne Krauser. Calypso Clothing LLC. Make sure you guys go out and support Dwayne. He always support everybody. So make sure you guys show some love. We also got Hungry Hearts Hustle. That's our Eugene. I gotta change that and put his website. I forgot to do it, so I gotta make sure I do that. But so big up to everybody. And last but not least, our YouTube channel. Subscribe v.i.legends. All the previous episodes is there. We also like streaming now as we speak. So much love to everybody. So, man, that was tiring. I could never get used to that, man. I don't know what it is. So. Yeah. Congrats on the engagement, man. Legends 340, Amma Malika, big up. Congrats. Good night, Carrie, and good night, Dwayne. Big up to everybody tuning in. Big up to everybody tuning in. Much love. So previous episode we had Joel Pica Rodriguez, episode 50. Great episode, man. A lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom from Joel. You could tell he's real. He's a thinker of the game of baseball, man. It was good hearing his story growing up with Rudolph and being good friends. Playing on Dusters, representing, having the opportunity to play in Venezuela. So it was good. Only one thing we have. I was contacted the other day, and the race that Joel Pica Rodriguez was talking about, that he raced Chupe up in Canagata when they passed the game. I was told he did not beat Chupe. Chupe stated that he did not lose. So I wasn't there, but I told Chupe, as Chupe is a big brother to me, much love to Chupe. I told him I will make sure I say it on the podcast. I make sure I correct it. So I don't know if Pika made a mistake or what. I don't know because I wasn't there. I was somewhere in Iowa or something. But Chupe said he did not lose. He had a tour ACL, tour meniscus, and he said he did not lose. He said he made it look easy. He won and everything. So I'm not sure, but I just letting everybody know. So whoever witnessed the race and stuff like that maybe had a different idea than last week's episode. I don't know, but I just wanted to correct that. I'm a man of my word, and I told Chupe I was going to make sure I corrected it and mention it. So anyway, so hope everybody doing well, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in, man. So you know, we got the guy, we got the legend here, we got the multi-talented, he loves sports, he definitely loved baseball or soccer. He just loved the game, and he was my little league teammate long time ago, because I feel like I'm like 70 years old these days, but he was my teammate, man. I met him when I was like 11, 12 years old. And, Artie, I always loved the game of baseball. His family been around the game and everything. So, it just rubbed off on him. But he's an amazing talent, man. He's an amazing baseball player, honestly. He's an amazing man, talented, student of the game, think of the game. He was like a coach on the field at the same time. Even though I think I played maybe 1 or 2 seasons. I think maybe one probably in Little League with Artie, or two. But we played Sabah together that year where we had that team from Complex and stuff. So, that's somebody like I tell Pika last week that he this is somebody that love the game. Artie's the same way, like the love of the game. He's passionate. They just were some passionate individual. They just love the game. They represented the game. They live and breathe the game. So, you always gotta appreciate people like that, because sometimes that energy rubs off on other people and stuff like that. So that's what it's important to have people like that around you, especially when you're trying to achieve goals and dreams. So I ain't gonna talk our ear off anymore. So we here. Good night to everybody. The legend, he in the Reds Hall of Fame. One of rest in peace, Genix, one of Genix students. So I know you have a lot of funny memories. The legend, the umpire, the coach, the mentor, Artie, Canaii, Junior.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Yes, I, Artie. Yes, I, man. How everything is, man.
I'm here, man. I appreciate the kind gesture of actually getting an opportunity to be on the show. Actually, it's more flattering than anything, but definitely appreciate the gesture.
Yeah, man. Hey, it's all love, man. It's all love, man. You've been an inspiration, for me. You always believe in me and everything, man. So you always show me love and stuff like that. Pang saying we have a show. Like, you see, viewers, you see what I have to deal with. Much love to my brother Pang. I ain't trying to pick any or anything, but much love to my brother Pang. But what Pang talking about? Pang, we have a show, man. Come on, Pang. Come on, man. But big up to Pang, man. No rush or anything. Make sure you do what you gotta do on that guy, man. We always here, brother. Much love to you, Pang. Much love. Yeah. But Artie, man, you've been an important figure to the sport, man. So we definitely gotta, celebrate you or honor you. So we here, man. We here. How you feeling? You nervous or anything? You ready to get this thing going?
I'm a little nervous, but I'm also ready to get it done, though. I ain't gonna even front yet. Got a little bit of butterflies in the stomach, but I'm pretty sure when you get me talking, it's gonna be like it never happened.
Yeah. It's true, man. You'll be good, man. You'll be good. Big up to Jasan, big up. Jojo Jolie, big up. Your birthday was just the other day. Happy belated birthday. Much love to you. Much love. Dwayne, big up. Carry on, big up. Karen, big up. Much love to everybody tuning in. I appreciate you guys supporting RT and tuning into his episode. So we here. Yeah, man, RT. So how we all started, man? What was the first sport you played?
Okay, so the first sport that I ever played was actually baseball, but believe it or not, I was forced to play baseball. My my grandmother, Christina Hobart, that would be Andy Hobart's mom. She told me that because my uncle played baseball, I have to play baseball. So I didn't really care for it, but I was forced to play it, and then it eventually turned from liking the sport to loving the sport, where it actually became a part of my life. But um, when I first started, I'll be the first one to tell you I couldn't even catch a ball. So it was definitely an interesting first year. But Genix was able to pull my talent out of me that was hidden within. That's what I could definitely say.
So your family had a great relationship with with Genix, you know. So
Definitely.
how was that your family having that close relationship with Genix? How was that like? Playing for him, you know, and still have to deal with Mr. Hobart.
Okay, let me see. So um, my mom and Genix's wife, they used to work together in the bank. So I know them from as long as I know myself. And because and they used to play with Genix, that's how the two sides merge to become one. And if everybody know from Emma Skid West Little League, they know that my grandfather was the candy man, the bubblicious, bubble gum, peanut man, anything that cricket call it, definitely yes, that was definitely him. And I just wanted to say that this year, July, he would have made 100 years old.
Wow,
So
man.
that would have been a great thing for him to get to see this year too.
Yeah,
That's
man.
one of the people that inspired me to be who I am today. That's who taught me how to be a man and how to get things done without asking for it to be done. So big up to Mr. Amos Hubbard. I'm sure he watching over and watching everything.
Yeah, man. Definitely big out to Mr. Hobart, man. Rest in peace, man. He was the man. He was the man. One of the biggest Reds fans.
Definitely.
So yeah, man. Nice guy, man. Nice man. So definitely rest in peace, man.
Yeah.
You know. So what was your first impression of Genix, as a coach?
Mm, okay. My first impression of Genix, he used to yell a lot. He used to yell a lot, but he meant well. I could definitely say that. Whenever Genix saw something in a player, they could have been somebody that never touched a ball, never touched a bat. It could have been that, they were fast or they had a powerful arm. He would see that and find a way to capitalize to use it for the game. And that's one thing I could definitely pay some homage to Eugene Genix Thomas. Um, if it wasn't for Genix, I probably would not have been who I am today or even back then. He taught me the fundamentals about the game. Excellent trainer. Definitely taught me how to be a student of the game, no doubt.
Yeah.
So big up to Genix. Rest in peace to Genix.
Yeah. Definitely rest in peace to Genix, man. So how was your experience like playing Little League? Your first season. Can you recall? Can you remember your first season playing and how was that experience like?
Oh man. Okay, so I remember our first game of the season. This would be my 9 year old year because I never played T-ball or Pee-wee before. As I said, I couldn't catch. I could have run a little bit, and that's what Genix used to get me going. So I remember we were playing Dusters, Reds against Dusters, the opening Sunday of Little League.
Yeah.
And I remember you, Neg, and Makil specifically. That was the three go-to guys. I believe
Yeah.
it was Neg that started that game. I think, if I'm mistaken, we went 6-5. And it was a tight game, but we hold on. Um, I didn't play in that game, but I did manage to play in a second game, and I believe we were playing against Harley them against Angels.
Angels.
and that's when I got my first opportunity to play. And it was almost like a rookie of the year type of moment because I came up to bat with bases loaded, and I ended up getting a double, a 3-run double, and I can remember exactly who I gave off of to Terrence Torby. That's
Terrence.
my that's my first ever hit in my life.
Ah,
I got a double to clear the bases, so that was critical. And
man, that's crazy.
I guess you could kind of say that was like breaking the ice
Yeah,
when things start to like I actually swing the bat and I hit the ball and it went someplace, that kind of way
yeah,
to the point where it becomes normal afterwards. But my first year in Little League, we did not lose a game. The only thing that was different in that year is that we had a tie. And I guess because with Little League, you have a curfew. And I remember who the team we played against that we had that tie. Or against Rookies. Rookies are the only team that we had a tie against. Everybody else, all the games against Dusters, we won by one, and everybody else we beat up, and even the first go around against Rookies. But they might have a nice little team, and maybe we didn't play as well as we should have against them guys. But I could honestly say we had an undefeated season, so I was not a stranger to winning in my first season. So I at least know what it was like, but I definitely wasn't rubbing it in nobody's face because at that time I still didn't have the love for the game. I was getting to the point where I started to like it though.
man, that's crazy that you remember that we tied with Rookies. I remember that we tied with
Yeah,
Rookies. It was like the craziest. It was like the most shocking thing because Rookies was like the
definitely.
worst teams. They had
They,
a
they,
nice, but it was just the worst team.
yeah,
Man, that's crazy. You remember that, and I can't
yeah,
remember Terrence Storby pitching, and that's true. He used to pitch for Angels.
yeah.
I
I
forget
remember
this.
that like yesterday, man. You always remember your faults. That's what I said, right?
Yeah, that's what it said for real. Yeah, I always remember
Yeah,
your first son. It's
yeah,
true. So man, so so you experienced that undefeated season, your first year, which is you can't ask for anything better than that, as playing a team sport. So and was that our last year, myself, Makil and Neg?
yeah. That was your last year. So
Okay.
after that, after my 9-year-old season, the team went from best to almost worst, is what I would say. We
Wow.
didn't there wasn't much 12-year-olds left on the team. There may have been a handful, but
Yeah.
the three of you guys definitely carried the load. While everybody else did their part, you guys was the most impacting players on the team for sure. Yeah, were the go-to guys, and
Yeah.
everybody else was supporting cast. That's what I would say. So my
Yeah,
ten
it's
year
true.
old year, I got a taste of what it was like to lose. So it was like, okay, so I got a little taste of winning, I got a little taste of losing. So by my by the ending of my 10-year-old year was actually the first time I ever pitched in my life. And I never had practice to pitch in my life. Just see people do it. I didn't ask to pitch. It was actually a Mother's Day All Star, and that's the
Wow.
end of the season, like the month before All Star game. East versus West and Central back then when they had Central. And Genix tell me I get a ball. So I was like, all right, I get a ball.
Yeah.
And I believe I whack every single body on the team. And he watched me and among he was like, I ain't checking you out. You gonna figure it out. And I was just like, wow. I think by maybe the 13th or the 14th batter, we go the inning. Probably
Wow,
didn't put
that's
it in
crazy.
play. Yeah, but hey, it definitely tell me like, okay, ain't nobody coming here to save you, so you better figure out who the trust strikes real quick.
Yeah.
But
Man.
after that, I know we took a hard spin back to winning, and
Uh-huh.
that's when I started to actually start to love the game because that summer we it was myself, Genix, and Jamal Christopher from Williams the Light.
Yeah, Jamal Christopher, yeah.
him and his brothers, they were very small back then, and maybe even Ryan Joseph and all were there. And Genix just any pitch that he threw in, but then practice in that summer, he just tell me to swing after it. What he was teaching me how to do was hit the ball the other way. He said, even if
Mm,
it's way outside, you try to swing and hit it hard somewhere. And that's how I started developing to like a role player. And that's how you could say I started to become a bit more consistent in pitching.
okay.
So I definitely had some work to do, no doubt about that. But it was a nice experience, I must say. Hard work to pay off, all in all.
So now, how was Genix like with the losing season? Just because I would like to know, because when I played, we
You
didn't
never
really
lose
lose
a
a lot.
season.
Yeah, my experience with him. So how was that like? Was he pretty much the same, or a little different or anything?
Um, I guess the expectations that he had when you guys were 12 is probably what he had his expectations in the 12-year-olds that were there at that time. That's what I'll probably say. I don't think his mentality changed, but I do know that sometimes losing to inspire you. It'll inspire you to run an extra wind sprint, run an extra lap, take a couple more swings and task, BP, a little extra. Because at some point people will get tired of losing, and if it means they gotta do a little bit extra to make that happen, then that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
I didn't think his character changed in that season, but he definitely knew that he had some work to do. And I think after that, um, he spent more time after like All Star was done, after the Latin American tournaments were finished. He
yeah.
spent the summer preparing for the oncoming season. So when the season started, it was like, wait, Reds ain't even take a break, man. Reds been playing all this time, and it's like opening day, and they come to kick butt. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I think he had a wake up call too, is what I would probably say.
yeah. He sound like he put in a lot of work, man. Put in a lot of
Yeah.
work. So as your little league season pretty much came to an end. Who did you play with in senior league? How was that transition like?
Okay. Before we get to that, right? It's something I wanted to say because I think that's how the rest of my game evolved,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Go
a lot
ahead.
of guys from Christian State could definitely testify to that too. Um, I guess I could jump into my last year in Little League. Um, I have I have never played on a Emma Plasket West Little League team that won until my last year. So
Mm,
we were steady losing to Christian State. Central never beated us ever, but East for the first 3 years of Little League, they were beating my age group. Um, my last year, Genix was not the All-Star coach. It was actually B-Man, that's Dean Thompson for Chewies, and the
yeah,
manager was Honest Bones Morris. And both are deceased right now, but they definitely had an impact because the first two games in the All-Star game was against Central. We had I think we opened against them,
yeah,
and then we played against East, and we had the hardest pitcher for our team, Larry Randolph, and we had a 7-run lead against East, and it looked like they were waiting for us to get ahead to just open up the door, and they scored 14 runs, not in one inning, but I think it was like
wow,
14-7 is what they beat us by. We stopped
jeez,
scoring, and they came back, and they like won a full court blitz on us like crazy. Um, so then the following game, which would back then it was double elimination, we had to play Central again, and we beat up on them. So then now Bones is like, who we gonna use against Christian Stead since they beat up and Larry.
yeah,
So B man come up to him and said, but what happened to Artie? He's like, Artie beat up on us all year, but the thing is, I didn't have a fastball like them other guys. I could have trust strikes, but I don't think the mid used to papatal, you know. So I think Gnex used to refer to my fastball as a pop shot, while the other guys had a cannon. But
Yeah.
he used to say that I gonna make use of my pop shot, and I had a very decent curveball. So that's that. I remember when you were talking about your episode, your curveball, you fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Um, I had some flashbacks of all the years that we lost the Christian State, and I was like, I am tired of losing, and I did my homework. When we weren't playing, I was watching their games to see weaknesses and whatnot, and I was like, every team chose this team fastballs. Why? They could hit
Why?
a
Yeah.
fastball. So I came up with my game plan, and I appreciated that my managers they trusted me to call my game because that's something that Genix allowed me to do as well.
Yeah.
Unless I was struggling, he would let me call my own pitches. So I think from the beginning of the game, I established that I had a curveball. We had this dude, they fought batter. I didn't have to face him in the first inning because I struck out the side. I said he is not seeing a fastball from me tonight because he is a notorious fastball hitter. And
Yeah.
his nickname was Applebana. I think his first name is Orlando, but I can't remember his last name. He
Applebanner.
was, yeah, he was Dominican. But one of them guys in my age group, I'm sure they would know his last name because they play with him. But I fed him a dose of 12 to 6 curveballs all night long. I mean, he was not going to see a fastball because I never get knocked out, first of all, and I damn sure don't want it to be no,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
since we never beat East before.
Yeah. Especially in an
So,
all-star game.
especially in an All-Star game, yeah.
Yeah.
So, um, we actually we beat them 9-3, and I think I set a record in that game. I gave up 3 hits, but I think I had 14 or 15 strikeouts in that game, and
That's a
there
lot.
was this one dude that I could not throw strikes to at all. I walked him 3 times for the whole night. He didn't get to swing his bat. I don't know why he was at the bottom of the lineup. I just couldn't throw strikes to this dude. His name was Nicholas Bass. I think my peers said that he after Little League he was playing tennis,
Oh
but
wow.
it wasn't. I don't know how good he was because I didn't even get to throw a strike to the guy. You know what I mean? So that was
You
just
made
crazy.
you made him change sport because he was like, man, nobody wanted to throw me no strikes, so I want to play tennis.
Maybe so, maybe so. Um,
Uh,
I can point this out too. One of the better hitters in my age group, and he did have a hit off of me in that game. I think he had the first hit in the game off of me was Cedric Joseph.
oh,
Much
okay,
much
Cedric, yeah,
respect for Cedric Joseph.
yeah,
That's my dog. Like out of my peers, if the game on the line, that's why I want batting. He showed himself. He showed himself in that game against me. He showed himself against Kalex Crab when Kalex was no hitting us when we get to senior league, and he is one person that hit the ball off of my foot in man league, and I never forgot that. But that's another. We will get to that then.
yeah,
But yeah, we end up beating them guys. I remember Neg had the whole of Harrigan Mali and the third base side of Paddy Joseph. Every time I strike out somebody, they were like, "Oh, like you know Neg already. Neg the
yeah,
Egetan. Neg
yeah.
Neg
That's
is that
true.
guy." And
Yeah,
it was so funny because I felt like I was an underdog because I wasn't the first choice, even though I beat those teams in the regular season and in the west side of Elmo Plaskett.
yeah,
But I wasn't even a thought until the assistant coach mentioned my name. So after I beat them, I remember Genix coming to my grandmother's house after the game, the following day, and I remember Bone saying he hoped they rain that the day after so I could pitch again.
yeah. Could pitch
But
again.
back
Yeah,
then, Little League rules is a game rest, not a day rest. We didn't have
mm,
pitch count back then. So even if it rained, The next game, I still would not be able to pitch. I would have to have 1 day rest, and then I'd have been able to pitch again.
Oh,
So
okay.
we actually went back to Larry, and Larry was able to beat them, and we kept scoring. So that was the main thing. We kept scoring. We know that them guys could have hit a fastball, but nobody didn't really have the answer for the curveball that Genix had teach me. That's one thing I could say. You were talking about senior league now, right?
Yeah. So we have this question here. I wanted to get to talk about curveball.
Uh-huh. When
The
did you
question is,
discover
when
it?
did you discover your curveball was a killer? Was it that particular moment, or was it later on in your career?
When I discovered my curveball as a killer, I would say at one of my all-star practices in my 12-year-old year, my last year in Little League. I'll tell you why. So they always tell young kids, don't throw a curveball too soon because they're gonna mess up your shoulder, mess up your elbow,
Elbow,
and
yeah.
all that stuff. And probably why I probably had to fix my arm to make it a little better in this day and age. But Genix had always taught me to try not to throw it for a strike. Try to make it have that bite so that it could bounce in front of the plate. So
Yeah.
that when it come into the hitter, it look like a strike, and then as it getting closer, I just ducking out the way. So I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get mine over for a strike. So Bones just said, just release it a little higher. After releasing it a little higher, I would train them thing for strikes. Whole game, like them guys was like, they know that it was coming. Like you gotta tell what coming next, and them guys didn't have an answer for it. So all I could have said is that cover was just that bad, and I was glad I was able to master it like that because I didn't have a fastball that was overpowering at all. I
Overpowered,
could I
yeah.
could just strike with my fastball, but ain't nothing like your own, not even close.
So we have a question here from Stephen Hodge. As a young slash new player, what are some of the challenges you face learning the game of baseball?
Hmm. Well, I would probably say that a challenge was not being accustomed to losing, especially since it started out with an undefeated season. Um, I didn't really understand like what it took to be an All-Star team either. So I would say like lack of information because I think the first time I went to a little league game I was 8, and what my first little league game I saw I believe was Scotty Southwell jumping over the fence in Machuchal, trying to catch a home run. I think that was my first one.
I remember, yep, I
So
remember that game. It's
right.
crazy.
So like I wasn't around the sport. Some of my best friend and his brothers, we used to play in the back of a day yard when I started to play and whatnot. But to say that I was watching TV, watching baseball and stuff like that, that happened later on for me. What other challenges? I didn't there's like the different pitches as a hitter. I wouldn't know what they did until I became a pitcher.
Yeah.
So if you want to say, as I became a pitcher, I learned how to hit better as well, then I'd probably say yeah. So that'd be another challenge of mine. But after you learn the way the ball breaks, the rotation and whatnot, then you get to have an idea of it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So you trans let me see this comment real quick. So you transitioned into to senior league. How was that like?
Okay, senior league. It didn't have a Reds in senior league, but it had a basics, which was still Genix team.
Yeah.
Um, it was a different element for me because now you're there in the big field. You got 30 more feet to run to each base. The distance to throw the ball is a lot further. And let me just say like this, I was a shrimp. I was probably 4'11" or 4'8" at 13 years old. So it was like
Tiny.
everything was like bigger than me. So it had a little bit of intimidation, I would probably say. But whenever I got in the box, I wasn't afraid as far as who I was facing.
We were
So I would
facing.
say that I was prepared to at least play on a level. I don't think that I was ready to be an all-star in an age group though. I don't think that I was strong enough yet. And that's just me being honest with myself.
Yeah.
Um, I remember my first hit in Senior League 2, which was Selwyn Mamboot. I think he was playing with Dusters at the time. He passed away some years ago too. Let him rest in peace too.
Yeah.
He
Rest
was
in
a good
peace.
dude. But I also had a double too, which is interesting. But yeah, so the feel seemed like it was like this enormous thing for me, and I was just trying to get adjusted to the new scenery.
Yeah. You see. Yeah. It's a big difference, man. Coming from little league and going into senior league and playing in the, and because the senior league we played it was like some big fields. Usually in the states is a little bit small, I think, but we was playing
Right,
like in a big, like a major league stadium. So like we have more work to do.
correct. And I guess if it had this back then, maybe that would have probably been where I probably would have wanted to play, which is they call it Little League Intermediate, which is I don't know if you heard of the 50-70, which
Yeah, yeah,
the mound is 50 feet away from home plate and the bases are 70. So it kind of gives you a chance to get adjusted to a further distance rather than just stick you in there with a big gap in feet. So after seeing how that works, I was like, this is ideal for 13-year-olds, but I don't
yeah,
think that was available back then. You're talking about that would have been 1997 because I would be making 14, but it was my 13-year-old
yeah.
year. It was here in 13 to 15. But yeah, I think that would have did a lot of justice to a lot of us, and I also think that maybe I noticed a lot of things started happening. Like a lot of my teammates or guys I played against in little league, they stopped playing senior. They stopped playing baseball altogether. I can't tell you what happened with them, what impacted them to stop or anything like that. But it was just like they just fell off the face of the earth. While I know what my dreams was, I gonna keep playing, you know.
You don't keep playing.
But
Yeah,
I think if Little League Intermediate was available back then, I think they would have still been playing because they would at least get a fair chance to adjust to the distances. And
yeah.
with Little League Intermediate, you actually get to take a piece like on the big field and whatnot. But
Mm,
it's definitely something I think should be promoted more. A lot of coaches frown on it, and I was like, I think it's like a developmental league, but still competitive, very very competitive.
yeah, because you gonna be like leading off the base and all that stuff, right?
Yeah,
Like the
you go
kids gonna be
back,
pitching front.
you could take a piece. It's just like senior league, but just at a closer distance.
Yeah, I mean, it's only gonna benefit the kid. That's the only thing because it's gonna make them use their mind more because they're gonna make them use their mind more because
Right.
it's so much more you gotta retain. You gotta retain so much more information. So you're gonna be walking the mind, you'll be using the mind, and it's just gonna make them better baseball players overall because they have to make them think more. You know what I'm saying? Analyze
Right.
the game a lot more than before. In literally you have to worry about the runner, you just worry about the batter. But now you
Correct.
have to worry about the runner. So now, attention to detail a lot more, so it's only gonna benefit the kids.
And the funny thing with that is like just like senior league, if the ball bounce and the batter swing and a touch strike, they could run. So it's very
Yeah.
much like that. Is one other thing I wanted to talk about in my 12-year-old season though. It just came back to me.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. You good, brother.
This is the first time I actually get to travel for baseball in my entire life, and it was against St. Thomas East. I don't know like which I don't know if it's Elrod Hendricks East is what they call their program, but it was definitely the East team that won that year. And I remember I threw a one zip game, but I lost.
Oh wow.
It was a tough loss. I think I had the same strikeouts as St. Croix, or I had one more over there. And how they scored their run, it was a ball that was popped up to shallow center field. and my center field. I think Ali really had to do was take 1 or 2 steps backwards, and he would have caught it. But I
Hmm.
think he misgauged the ball, and it dropped right behind him. The runner got the second, and then they played small ball. They bumped the ball over, and then I think a ground out got him to score the one run they lost by. But that was one thing. The next day is what was crazy for me. Um, as I say, I consider myself an underdog. When we got to the park, every single Tomian in the stands stood up and started to clap when I came through. And I
Wow.
was like, what? I was like, no way. And I was like, we
Yeah.
lost. But I guess they never saw that kind of pitch and display, especially for somebody who wasn't overpowering. Because
Yeah.
my fastball didn't evolve from St. Croix to St. Thomas at all. It still was the little pop shot that could throw strikes, definitely. But that was crazy. That was definitely crazy for me.
That's
That was just like whoa. That was
that's a
whoa for
great
me.
feeling. That's a great feeling as a kid, man. So we have a
Yeah.
question here from Rudolph Simmons. And
Uh-huh.
just before I ask this question, I'm gonna bring Pang in. So Pang is
Okay.
here. So we're bringing the
All right.
legend.
Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night.
When I pang what going on?
Good night,
Again,
good
my
night.
boy, cooling.
Yes, sir,
Glad
man.
to have you in the show now.
Mumbai
Yeah.
was for real. I didn't know we had a show tonight.
No,
Remember,
man,
remember I told you after we get off the show, I went the
yeah.
whole show without hearing a word you and Joel were saying because for some reason my end audio wasn't coming through. So if you said that we had a show coming up Monday, I completely didn't hear that.
Yeah, man. Man, I say that that show. I posted on Facebook too, man. You probably
Hey,
wasn't on Facebook this week or
I wasn't
anything,
on
man.
Facebook all weekend
Hey,
myself.
that's how it is, man. You get busy, man, and you just get trapped in the week, brother, and then next thing a lot of stuff that just go by, man. But hey,
But I'm here. I'm here.
you here, man. You here, you make a grand entrance and everything, so you good. You know?
Yeah. Welcome to
Yeah,
the Elite
man.
Podcast. Pack.
Yeah, man. Glad to be here, man. Glad for you guys to have me tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Blessings to everybody tuning in. Blessings to everybody tuning in, supporting Artie. So we have the question here from Rudolph Simmons, Artie. Now that Genix have passed away, who you think could step up to his standards, or do you think you could make that transition?
I know that's what he was coming with because I remember when he was on, I expected something like that from him. Who do I think besides myself? That's a tough one because when I think of Genix standards, I have to think of somebody that's available, and I have to think of somebody that's retired that could just eat, sleep, and live baseball, so that they could actually put time into the kids. Um, there's a name that comes to mind, but I felt like he did his time already, which would be Wayne Hawley. I think he he is ideal, but I don't know if he's still around ball like that because I haven't seen him around ball probably from the last time I coached Little League, which
Oh, wow.
is 2007. That's who I would probably say as far as that class. If you're talking about like younger, it could be a couple of guys. And I don't want to say east or west. I more think of the people that know the game, are students of the game, and who comes to mind with the mature mind as well is Roderick Moorhead.
Okay.
Roderick Moorhead. He's a coach. He hasn't been doing it for a long time, but he definitely has put himself into Little League. Um, I got move my camera for a little bit because I want y'all to see this here too. So this season before COVID, this jersey is Rebels. That's his 13 to 17 league name of his team. But he
Okay.
has coached Little League. I think he still was doing that, but I actually he had asked me to help him train. That's something that I had agreed to do from the year before, but the opportunity didn't come up just yet. So he made sure he reached out to me, and he make sure that he like, remember when you said that you're willing to help with training and stuff? Well, I need you now. So I, before COVID got into full effect, I was definitely around the ballpark, not the little field, but the big field. And he definitely loves the sport and loves to see the kids flourish. I feel the same way too, because it also helps the kids to be off the streets and doing things they ain't supposed to do. But he's ideal. Roderick is a little bit younger than me. He might be like 33 or 32, I think is what his age might be, somewhere around there. But he would be ideal for me if I had to pick somebody other than me. But I don't know if Renice Woodrup James is listening, but I'm sure her mind is definitely going crazy right now if she's listening, because for many years she has asked me to come back to coach Little League. And for me, it's a couple of things. I think about how things was when I was playing. You didn't have to worry about a 9 showing up for a game. You didn't have to worry about 10 minutes before the game if somebody is coming. By a half an hour before each game, players were sitting down, watching the game, waiting for their turn to go on the field and do their thing. The sport lost its edge, at least on St. Croix, I can say. I wish it would turn around, but I there was two different things I said to her, which was, okay, you want me to come back and coach Little League? I said, okay, we need to have a contract then. And why I say that is because my last set of years, Little League was actually like babysitting, unfortunately. There's no way my team could have a 1 o'clock game and a parent is coming for the child at 11 p.m. So it's like, do I carry this child to the police station and say, call your mother? Or do I suck it up because you need the players? Because if they don't come, you're going to have no game, you're going to have no team. Ain't going to happen. So then I said, how about a contract? Make the parents sign a contract. And that's also including like water, Gatorade, uniform, and either a parent or a guardian must be present at practices and at games, so that in case something happens, somebody can make a decision for that child in case something happens to them. So she was like, man, you know that's gonna be kind of hard. I said, I know, but I know the struggles. I know what the downfalls when I was there, what it was like. So it'll be like a preventative measure for me. So if they could agree to terms like that, everybody, I'll say a strong consideration to come back to coach Little League, to actually be a coach rather than a trainer. The other thing I said was, everybody complains about how old the umpires are. Aside from me, you have the range of umpires from maybe mid-40s to early 70s, and it's majority over 50. So it's like, you prefer me to coach Little League, and then we have the old guys behind the plate running the bases and stuff like that, that y'all of course would say they're blind and they can't see, they teething and whatnot, all that stuff that the fans say, like, pick your poison, you know. So I said I would prefer me in the umpiring element, so I could help to improve that, because I felt like you had enough coaches in Little League when I left coaching Little League. So I had already said, I told my little brother, because his last year Little League was my last year coaching. Some stuff happened with the Little League West president that year with myself, and I said, I need to take myself out of this, and I'm still going to give back, and I'm going to give back with umpiring. Since I had already made my promise to, I have 4 legends, and only one of them living. I want to give a shout out to them too. Alfredo Squeeze Johnson, Emil Gravy Henderson. I think he's the junior, because his son, I think the attorney is the third. Active Snacky David and Charles Zip Bro. Them four guys is who I made a promise before I started umpiring in 2008 that I would join the Umpires Association. So after I stopped coaching at the league, that was my role, giving back to the community and giving back to the program that made me who I was. So I made sure that I honored my word, and I'm glad that they brought that challenge to me to go and become an umpire. Been doing it for 12 years now and counting. So I think I saw a comment from Coach Z. Coach Z, I still waiting for you to come and play center field, but you got bat though. He said it's a tough set of shoes to fill, and he's right. He's definitely right, because Genix did have a great impact on a lot of players, and it's not just Frederickstead either, because I know some guys that I played with that definitely benefited from working out with Genix, and that's one thing I could say. Like, if you are a child that just wanted to learn, wanted to improve your game, or what kind of weaknesses, anything of that sort, he didn't say, "Oh, you from East, so not me gonna train you." He wasn't like that. So I could definitely say that. But I would like to say something regarding that. That I think the adults had a little bit too much fun with this when we were growing up. It's almost like they taught us to pretty much hate the people from East, rather than after the game done we could be friends in that kind of way.
Yeah.
Because when we were playing Mumba, we had a East, West, and Central division. I think my last year was the last time Central had a division. And after you leave Little League, East, West, and Central are definitely your teammates. Says like, why try to trick me or train me to not like these guys when they're gonna be my teammates after I leave the little field? You know what I mean? So that's something I wish actually never happened. Like, I could understand, be competitive and whatnot, but the East and West stuff and the separation, I think it's very much unnecessary. We need to get past that, and I think more of that unity should be spread across the lands. Period. Because the more players that we use from the entire island or even the entire Virgin Islands, the better we represent the territory. And I speak in volumes with that, because I've seen it playing with them and officiating while they travel. The best Virgin Islands team is all the islands combined. It's not all from St. Croix, from St. Thomas and Jan. No, it's all the islands combined. That's what I'm gonna say.
How do you think we able to bridge that gap where everybody's working together, especially when it comes to representing the Virgin Islands as a whole, and we got to go out abroad to represent? How do you think that come into play? Like, what do you think it would take for that to happen?
Okay, so there's that thing called a reward, but it's not a monetary reward. I think it's more like a incentive, in the sense of, okay, like if you're training a dog to do something, you give it a treat, and it's going to obey the command. I said this years ago, and I laughed when Rudolph talked about it on the show. Baseball is losing great talent, and no disrespect to any other sport, but I gonna say baseball is too hot. Them kids ain't like to be in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a way that we could create a dome where it's a lot cooler, I think kids would more be prone to come out and play, so that the sun won't be a factor no more. But instead, it'll be like, well, we have all these guys that used to play baseball years ago. That's going to help them to inspire. And even like I've mentioned this to Muma already. A lot of the former players, former minor leaguers, let them come back, let them talk to them, let them hear their story, their breakthrough story, when they get a call up, when they get a phone call. Hey, you want to be a Chicago Cub? Hey, you ready to be a so and so? You know what I mean? Those stories, they definitely move some mountains. It's definitely a way to inspire the kids because I think basketball probably has the biggest focus right now, even though baseball will keep you in the game longer because there's different levels, more like it's like 6 or 7 levels in alpha baseball versus it's either you have the NBA or the D League or you go play overseas. But I think if the atmosphere changed a little bit as far as the sun being a factor, of course, the other thing is for us in the US Virgin Islands, we're not like the international countries where poverty is a big issue. So it's like if a team wanted to sign me for a pair of spikes, I ready to sign for a pair of spikes just to get out of there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? They
it's true.
it's that bad. So they're gonna want to do whatever it takes to get out of there. So only if it gets that bad, I think that would also inspire kids to want to pull his socks up and do whatever it takes to get out and become a professional athlete or professional baseball player. As far as bridging the gap, I think the news has a lot to do with it too, or the media, in the sense that what I've noticed, and I'm saying this unbiasedly, the good stuff in the paper they'll say the Virgin Islands, the bad stuff they'll say St. Croix. I don't like that because that's creating barriers rather than building bridges. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if St. Croix bad, the Virgin Islands bad. If St. Croix good, the Virgin Islands good. Same way for St. Thomas and St. John. You know, one thing I always notice is when traveling, um, anywhere other than the Virgin Islands, we are all one without a doubt. The minute we get back to the territory, there's that barrier.
Right.
So it's just unfortunate that that happens because I played with some very good teammates from St. Thomas that I felt like they was very much needed. But I think egos has a big factor in it too. I think that's one of the bigger factors in it. Like we need to separate all those egos, all those I want to be in charge because I do this, or I used to play professional ball, so I know more than you, I was better than you, all that stuff is unnecessary. What's the ultimate goal? We want to put the Virgin Islands on the map. We want to create opportunities for these young high school kids or young college kids to get opportunity to either play pro ball because I'm sure a lot of them who play in college ball, their goal is to be a major leaguer at some point. They want to be a
Right.
draft pick. They want to have that draft there and be like, got a no wrecking feeling when they get a phone call. So I think the ego is the bigger thing. And if you get to separate that, I think that could help to build a bridge.
That's
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 true.
that's that facts, man. You talking facts because I know with basketball, I never felt like the right. We felt the rival, but I always felt like the Rockman them that we play against was more like brothers than enemies. Always, I've
Mm.
always felt that, in basketball. So I've numerous baseball players came on the show, and everyone has talked about when it was only the national team would go outside of the BI territory and represent with players from St. Croix, St. John, I mean St. Thomas, and I don't know if I ever heard of a St. John player, but St. John come together.
Me neither.
But
Yeah.
anytime like the youths go out, like I wouldn't say the national team, but just in a tournament to represent the Virgin Islands, they always go with the best team, the best people from RAC, or they always went with the best people from St. Croix, or even if they go with a St. Croix team, they go with the best players from West. They don't, and or the next time they go with the best players from East. Like it just always seemed like a divide in that realm. And I do think that I don't know if it's just there's too much good players to choose from, but that's in any sport. There's always a lot of good players to choose from. You just gotta pick the best of the best, and that's where we take the best team to give us the best chance of coming home with the victory. And we, whatever it is they need to do to fix that, they better jump on it ASAP, because that's the only way we're gonna get recognition, where more people start coming and picking from our little melting pot. And because we have the talent, we just don't have nobody seeing the talent that we have.
Yeah. I'll be totally honest with you. I think only once I've ever actually been to a tryout for any whether it's a all-star team or a national team. Only once, and that was my 14-year-old year, and we had ended up beating KLX Crab to go to Dominican Republic. But that's
And
the last time.
speak
Huh?
on that. Like, speak on that. When you say beating KLX Crab, like, did I have to play like a game to
Okay, so this was my 14-year-old year, my second year in on the big field. Um, it was on St. Croix that year. KLX was the big name down here. While he said that he didn't really classify himself as a pitcher, but he just threw hard, they utilized the cannon that he had.
Mhm.
And that's who we faced in game one. And KLX was no hitting us 4-0. I was game two starter. But I think, if I am mistaken, it was Marcus Tyler is who they started as at game one. And we were losing 4-0 into the bottom of the seventh inning. That would be the last inning for senior league. That's the end of regulation in 7 innings.
Yeah.
So it looked like he started to get fatigued. The same name I call earlier, you won't hear yet, but I'll call his name again because I have a ton of respect for this guy. Cedric Joseph. Cedric Joseph carry KLX to the left center of Artie Joseph fence. It didn't go out, but he hit the fence. He got triple out of it. That's the first hit, and I think the only hit he gave up before they finally took him out.
Wow.
And as soon as they take him out, we end up winning the game 5-4 in that inning.
Man.
But what I'm thinking now, right? That we ended up winning the series. I threw in game two, I lost 7-6. I started the seventh inning, and I think a guy got a hit, and then I went to play in the outfield, and then they scored 2 runs to go ahead and end up winning the game. But all I was thinking, me now versus back then, was imagine if our pitching rotation had a KLX Crab. That would be crazy, because they said KLX were trained 90 miles per hour at 15 years old. You know how ridiculous that is, that this dude is like in 10th grade or 11th grade, trained that kind of gas, and nobody can touch it. That's outrageous. That's if KLX was an international player, scouts were signing him on his 16th birthday. Trust and believe that. That's
true.
no ifs, ands, or buts, because if you go get a guy as a teenager trained that hard, you will be on somebody's team. They're gonna make you something. Trust and believe that.
So just to make sure that I follow in, it's like tryouts was more like an all-star game. And
so tryout was like all the teams, and I think back then I had an East and a West division, but we still come together at the end of the season, and we had like a tryout, and guys were getting cut. After the team was picked, that's the team St. Croix would select to play against St. Thomas. But what I'm saying it with back then, even though we won, we didn't take players from St. Thomas. I think we could have used a good 4 or 5 from the team to make the Border Islands something. We had 2 hitters that were on our team that when we went to Dominican Republic, they had fans asking, like, are these guys old enough to play with this division? Because they had a lot of facial hair, so that question got asked. They was asking like if they overage or whatnot, but them guys, I definitely could say that them guys was of age, or 15, and they hit the ball pretty damn well. But if there was like, so I can call 2 names that I could remember from a team, or maybe even a third one. So y'all had a Richard Clendenin on the team and the show that day.
Yeah.
Richie should have been on our roster as well. There's Akeem Francis, did I call him Harry Jack, and at least Kalex Crab for sure. I can't. They had another dude. I just can't remember his name, but they had some names that when you hear about them, they're like the cream of the crop in the lineup.
Hmm.
So I'm very sure the games that we lost over there, if we had them guys, it'd have been a different story.
Different story.
And I'm pretty sure some more guys would have gotten picked up. Whereas some scouts would have been following them throughout their career until they're eligible to probably get drafted or signed. Definitely.
And that's what it's about, man. Getting the right people out there to represent, and people seeing them, and like once one get pick up, once two get pick up, people gonna be like, hey, are there more of you guys in the Virgin Islands? Like, you know, and they come to see, you know, you get the right representatives out there, and putting us on the map, you know what I mean? And that's what
Right.
we gotta start doing for baseball, man. Because like for me, I didn't play baseball growing up, softball, nothing. And just doing these interviews and listening to how many great baseball players that St. Croix and Thomas had, or the Virgin Islands had, man, it's amazing. You know, some made it places and decided, okay, well, this is it for me. You know, some made it places where injury caused them to not move any further. Some people just love the Virgin Islands game. Just this is it. This is it for me. This is all I want to be a part of. And you know, other things played into factor, but just from the stories, man, like everybody that we interviewed sound like they were good. They could have played on the best level if they just had the opportunity, they had the right looks,
It's true.
or even had the right drive, have the right people putting battery in the back to just work hard and you know, be where you're supposed to be, do what you're supposed to do. It just seems like we just losing a lot of our legends because of like little mishaps or rules or I don't know, like procedures. Like it just we should that shouldn't be happening.
You know,
It's true.
I think it was always there, but I think that's when the adults got too involved with that part. Like I mentioned before, the ego aspect of
Mm,
it. Me want no help from no rock team. Me want no help from a cruise team. That type of mentality. I
Yeah.
think if the ultimate goal was, hey, let we talk that smack when we get to the World Series. You know what I mean? Let that be the issue. Let's get to the final stage of playing where it's the best in the world competing for the one prize. And that for me, that has always been my ultimate goal when I was playing anywhere from 18 to 9. I want to go to the World Series.
let
I
me
want to be one of them kids in Williamsport sliding down the hill with the cardboard boxes because they say it all the time that once the kids get there, they don't have to worry about anything. And when I say that, like them kids get cleats, gloves, batting gloves, Oakleys, two bats, a equipment bag, all donated. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, wow. And I'm sure they have a ton of activities for kids to do. And you're talking about 16 teams in the wall, eight from the US and eight international. And the best set of players are there. So I'm very sure them kids are well taken care of. So I wanted to be like, let me fail in Williamsport. You know, let me fall shot there where I playing against the best as opposed to you like growing up, it was like a dog fight as far as the local the regular season. That was like the high point because somebody wanted to be the all-star manager. But I was like, when I was coaching Little League, I like, I don't care about this level. This is nothing. Nobody ain't gonna hear about this ever unless somebody drop off a game or something. The goal is William Sport. I want to be at ESPN. You know, I want to
It's
when we're
true.
playing in Pennsylvania, I want whether it's the Pittsburgh Pirates or the Philadelphia Phillies come to the park and talk to the kids and you know get to play catch with whoever is the star at the time. Like that's what I would want to do. You know, and that was me in my 20s thinking that. So I don't know where their heads were back then, but that's where my thought was. So I didn't really emphasize that when I was coaching on that level because I was like, these are the stages to get to Williamsport, which is you play against St. Thomas. After St. Thomas, you go to either the Caribbean or the Latin American tournament. Whoever win that, going to the big show.
Yep.
So you're gonna be representing either Latin America or the Caribbean. Pick one.
Right. Right.
But that's where it really counts to me. So get there, folks.
One last question towards the subject, and then we move on.
Sure.
Do you think it's more egos of the coaches? Like maybe it'd be hard to decide who gonna be running the team, who gonna coach this position, who gonna coach that position. You think it just, you know what? Let we just take one team and the coach of that team and his staff is the ones that gonna go. Like, do you think it's more of the coaches that decided this is the way it's gonna be?
I think maybe the coaches, maybe the league president, and maybe some of the parents combined have an influence on that. Where the ultimate goal is last. That's why I really think it. I don't think it's just the coaches, because like I think this is a year when I was just started umpiring. I heard a manager that had his son playing in the league, in Little League, and he said if they don't pick him to be the coach or the manager, he ain't sending his son to go play All-Star. And in my mind, I was like, you hurting that child. That's selfish. That ain't got nothing to do with you. You don't have your time. You know, you guys separate your ego, because that's really what it was.
Right.
And I know that individual has a big ego, but all he really did was hurt his child. Like where he think he might be spite in the league, he really hurt his child in a way of getting exposure.
Right.
You know, I kind of gonna jump a little bit and then we could get backwards. Just to say, just to piggyback off of something that you said. So when I was in college, I played at Alcorn State University in Mississippi.
Wow.
And
you answer my next questions and some, but go ahead. I ain't gonna stop you.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Wait. Artie, let me interrupt you because I want to get to these questions that they asked a while back. While you was on the subject. Did you think Latin tournaments made you an elite player?
I didn't think it made me an elite player. I think it told me that I had some stuff to work on, is what I would say. You definitely, I mean, when you play against your peers here, you know what Mumba to throw, you know what Pang to throw, you know Pang to hit, you know Mumba to run. But when you get a dose of guys that you have no idea how good they are, what their strength is, it also it's a humbling experience, is what I would say, because they're probably the best in their country, and their country is way bigger than the Virgin Islands, without a doubt. So I think it's more of a reality check than maybe it's the road to being elite, is what I'm probably say. Because I think to be elite, you have to take some steps before you get to that point. So that's what I would say.
And who was on your team that year that you guys traveled when you guys beat KLX them? Who was on your team?
Oh, okay. Okay, so let me see. So there was Jose Burgos, that was my catcher. Gabriel Cedeno, you had David Wilshire, Roberto Encarnacion. Who was my third baser? I don't remember the third baser right now. May have been Clyde Gums. Clyde Gums was my teammate. Cedric Joseph was my teammate. Ryan and Jabari Joseph. Ramon McIntosh. Marcus Tyler. Dwayne the Nobba Cassin. That's my boy. The shortest man on the team, but the biggest hat on the team. They had another dude on the team. I don't remember his real name, but we used to call him Rockhead. I think he was out of water god. But I think that's everybody on the team I just call out. And I have to call the coaching staff, because when we get to this point, you're gonna see why. Cristobal Maching Encarnacion, he was the manager of the team. Did some great things for me, definitely. And his supporting cast was Raleigh Bob Watson and Elroy Harrison. That's Ronaldo Farah and Jermaine Harrison Farah. They were the other coaches and the team. And of course, matching that's Cantifara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, back to your, you could go ahead with the Alcan State, and I think, Pac had some questions pertaining to that
Right.
as well
Okay.
too.
So when I got to Alcorn State, so I guess I could talk about matching a little bit now because matching saw me the year after I graduated from complex, and he usually comes down in the summer whenever he travels to Florida, because I think he pretty much live half the year away, half away in the States and half on St. Croix. He saw me randomly and he asked me if I did in college. I said no. So I just walk in. So he said, you take your SAT? I said, yeah. So what you get? Said 1140. Said, what been your GPA? I said 3.14. Said, you want to go to college? I said, yeah, of course. So when this man tell me that, I was like, I dreaming or something. Like this man just come, like God just put this man next to me to talk to me, to tell me this for real. So he tell me, tell your mother, buy your ticket, and this gonna be your travel route. So Maching was my all-star coach for that trip to Dominican Republic. And this was also the guy responsible for taking me to college.
Mm.
And I wanted to have a big shout out to Machine. This man, he didn't just do it for me, and I'll be the first one to say we are not related, but he is family to me. He did a lot of stuff for me. Him and my grandmother used to work together in Woodson, but he he always saw potential in me. I remember him saying when the All Star game was done, the Latin American tournament was done in DR, he said, don't lift no weights. You got monkey hand, you gonna grow. And when I was 14, I was 5 feet nothing. I was at complex at 5 feet nothing. I was still a shrimp, and just like all my friends grow over the summer. What the hell happened to me? Like I get left out. So when he spoke with me, I did exactly what he said to do, which I flew to Orlando and he met me at the airport. We stayed by his daughter overnight, and the following day we went to Jackson, Mississippi, and we drove to Alcorn. And
Wow.
when I got there, I had a full academic scholarship and I had a third baseball scholarship, and I was just like, seriously? I didn't see anything coming with that, and I all I could do was appreciate all he did for me. He created a lot of opportunities for me with that.
Wow.
I only played 1 year college ball, and because of that, my head coach didn't really know what he had in his staff because he wasn't really there for a lot of the scrimmages. It was more the grad assistant. But my college coach, I always felt like the upperclassmen gonna play over the freshmen. And my mindset was that mean you ain't ready to win, because for me, I would think you want to put your best team out there. But it's crazy because once any of the starters got in trouble, lefty warm up was the response. And I go warm up in the bullpen, pitcher get out of trouble, lefty sit down. And I think for all the games that we played that year, with like 40 something, I think I warm up at least 4 times in the double headers on the weekend. So basically, it's like I done pitch already. But now getting to the point where what Pang had mentioned now earlier. So we were playing against Southern University, and back then they call him the man, which was Ricky Weeks.
Ricky
That's the
Weeks, yeah.
man that everybody have afraid in the SWAC. And what I wanted so bad, right? And I sorry for saying this because my teammate who were pitching against them, I was hoping that he again in trouble so I could have come in this game, and I would have tried to throw my arm because every scout in the wall was at that game for Ricky Weeks, and of
Hmm.
course his teammates benefited from that too.
Yeah.
And it was like 60 some degrees in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Great day for pitching. It was nice and warm, and my arm I felt great, but he never got in trouble, but we lost the game. So, and I think Anna Bradway back then was the assistant coach for Southern University. I guess I could talk about that later. But what we're getting at was if you have a a prospect and a team, when you have chances to play against them, you definitely better show out because that might be your way of actually getting to that point where you can actually get opportunity from a scout to show
Right,
yourself. So that's critical.
That's
So
true.
that's why I was going with that. With when Tang spoke about that earlier.
man. Um, well, that's really what I was gonna ask you the question about. Because I see
Hold
you,
on one quick
you.
second. Wait,
All right.
go ahead.
Um, I see you got a Alpha hat. So I was gonna ask you where did you pledge and how you got to the school. So
Hold,
you
hold on
got
a
you
quick
already.
second. I having a trouble. I having some trouble hearing you guys. Wait, I think I know what
Okay.
happened. Okay, go again.
So I was going to ask you because I see you Ghana you pledge Alpha. Still can't hear me?
No, wait, hold on. I don't know what's going on right now. Give me 1 second.
No, you good. If you need to go back, oh, no, he can't hear me. So yeah, man. Man, that was crazy, brother. This man drive from all over London to Jackson, Mississippi, man.
That from
Man,
Jacksonville, that's like a 16, 16 to 20 hour drive.
yeah,
And
man.
then add 2 hours to that. That's what 22. Mm.
It's
Well, depend.
listen to the other people, from the different people that we have had on the show, the different guests that we have on. Man, some individuals have made some serious sacrifices for some people, that they didn't even have any type of connection with, you know.
Right, man. It just like I was explaining to him, man. We have had some talent sprout out from the Virgin Islands, and a lot of us, me included, if we just have the right guidance, the right opportunities, put us in the right places, like the year after me, you go here we know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Um, we were just trying to fill in while you were getting your phone corrected. So I saw you wearing a hat that you pledge Alpha. So that was gonna give me my leeway to ask you where you went to school and where you pledge and things of that nature. But you touch on how you got to school, which is good. I think that was important for people to hear how your
Hmm.
opportunity came about. But now I'm more curious why you only play 1 year. Was it that game that
Okay,
you just
so
explained?
okay, give me 1 second. I think I know what I need to do. Somebody inbox me and tell me what I need to do to fix this problem. Give me
Okay.
1 second.
You get a first class communication, man. There's somebody inbox you real quick.
Yeah,
You down your phone?
yeah, they did it. Huh?
You down your
I
phone?
was on my phone before, but I had a phone call coming in, so that's probably what threw off stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Real quick,
One
you can hear
second.
us, Artie?
Hold up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hmm. Yeah, Mumba.
yeah. I could hear you, but I can't
We
see you,
can hear
brother.
you but can't see you.
Okay, so Artie down this one now. You could hear.
Yeah, yeah. I had to switch up.
All right.
Still get. I don't know how to deal with the audio though. The visual.
I can't help you with
It's
that,
a
brother.
little camera down at the bottom of
Okay,
your
there we
screen.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead now.
So I will go and segue into to you getting into college by using your hat because I saw that you pledged Alpha. So I was going to ask you where did you pledge, but you answered that and say you went where you went to school. But now I'm more curious based on that story. You say you only played 1 year of baseball while you were in college, and I just wanted you to touch on why, if it had anything to do with that. Did you make that decision based on that game you just explained?
Oh, okay. So after my season at Alcorn, I I decided that maybe Alcorn wasn't the place for me, and it probably had a lot to do with my coach's mentality. Um, Saying this very humbly, there was four seniors and a rotation. I think I could have been the third starter in a rotation, but my head coach never got an opportunity to see that full in effect because a lot of the scrimmages and the foul, he wasn't there. And my assistant coach, Cedric Cole, I think he's from Louisiana, but went to school at Alcorn too. He had one more year to play, and he used it as a grad assistant for the team.
Mm-hmm.
He always believed in me. He always was trying to get me in the game, especially when the starting pitchers get out of trouble. And I was like, it didn't seem like my coach was ready to win. And what I would say is, as soon as my coach retired, Alcorn State University won the SWAC. So it spoke a lot of volume, is
Wow.
what I can say about that. They won the SWAC. I can't remember who they beat, but I was happy that they won the SWAC more than anything. My attempt to continue playing college ball didn't stop there, but what I did do is I came back home. I came back to UVI, did a full fall and spring semester, and then that's when I met up with my other teammates from St. Thomas. We played in a woodbat tournament that we didn't know was woodbat, but when we reached there, we found out that it was a woodbat tournament, and we did okay. I met Jason Page, heard about him, but never met him. I played with Richard Clendenin and Deshaun Brooks, which I think Deshaun should be on your show as well. And I'm sure we're gonna get to that part there too. But I met, it was like four of us from St. Croix and the rest of the team was from St. Thomas, and well deserving. This was a if you were in college and you were from the Virgin Islands, you could play on this team.
University games.
So yeah, we played against DR's university. I can't remember which city in DR, and there was a Puerto Rico team there as well. It was supposed to have some more teams, but only the three teams were there. The crazy thing about this is the game that I started in against the Dominican Republic was one of the best games I ever threw in my life. If I can say a top three, I won the game through a complete game 2-1, beat the Dominican Republic, and there was no scout in sight. I was 20 years old and there was no scout around at all. And I would think, especially for this level, that something like that would be around, but there was not one of them.
Crazy.
But this is what happened with that. So the fall semester, I decided to go to Bethune-Cookman. I ended up seeing Mumba over there. He wasn't at the school anymore because I think that's around when he had gotten drafted. I had met Jason Page. I had tried to walk on a team, but what I learned with a lot of schools is after the college season is over, recruiting starts and scholarship money is usually dished out. So by the fall, they ain't gonna have no money. And back then, Bethune-Cookman College, now university, was a private school, so they didn't really have a lot of state funding with their program. And perhaps maybe Melendez had a lot to do with that too. As Mumba had mentioned, some of the stuff that happened there, but I got an opportunity to walk on, and I think I was throwing like 82 miles per hour, but he wanted me to do that throwing sidearm. And that's not a normal mechanic for me because I've never thrown sidearm before. But he was trying to change my mechanics, being left-handed, and I guess you could say a little crafty. And that didn't really work out for me as much as I would try to do it. I felt like I would probably be hurting myself more than anything. So Um, I used to work out with Jason a lot during that time, and Richie from St. Thomas was at Benedict College in South Carolina, and that would be my third attempt now to play college ball now. So he was telling me that his head coach, I believe, is Robinson. Coach Robinson was his last name, and I think he was a former minor league and assistant coach. Used to play minor league with the Padres as well. So they said to him, "Hey, you know any left-handed pitchers?" And Richie reached out to me. I'm like, "Yeah, I know one from St. Croix." And me and the coach was speaking in October of '04, just about to get to the end of the fall school year. Told me what I needed to do to transfer and all that stuff. Did it. So it was just a matter of getting to the school. I was promised a scholarship, but what I'm out. When I got to school January of '05, I actually met him for the first time. It was a basketball game going on, and he's the statistician, and I think a little bit of communication guy as well. So when I met him and everything, I didn't really talk about scholarship because I felt in my mind maybe he wanted to see what he was getting. So the following morning, trying to get registered for school and whatnot, we had practice after class. So he had me throw against the team. And I believe the first guy got a hit off of me, and then I called a timeout and I called a timeout to talk to the catcher. And this guy was actually Richard Julius. Did I call him Raga? Good guy, talented guy too. I said, listen, you remember how we were going through the pitches in DR? He said, yeah. I said, Carl, just like that. Which my mentality is similar to Joel Rodriguez own, because that's where I could say I developed some of my game from. Throw inside. If they go bat, then you know for sure if they're going to the inside pitch. So if they can't hit the inside pitch, bury their hands, burn their hands, break the bat, whatever you want to call it. So after that, nobody got a hit. I think I struck out the side like 3 times, including the dude who had the first hit after me. So after that, now the coach was like, okay, you're on the team. Do you play somewhere else? Do you hit? And I went to first base, hit some ground balls, and then I went to the outfield, catch some balls, and he let me hit. And he's like, okay, you definitely on the team. So now I said, okay, this dude know he game now. So now, okay, is my awards letter ready? He said, no, it's not ready, not yet. So now I'm like, okay, this is now kind of a little anxiety setting in, I would say, because we spoke from October and January come. I expected a awards letter. You probably just want to see what you get and versus what um my friend said about me. So I went to practice the following day. I asked him again, the same response. So this is day 3 now. So at day 4, I didn't go to practice. I didn't go to class. I just didn't go anywhere other than my room. So I think it would have been when practice would have been finished. I actually walked outside my dorm, and he saw me, and he was like, "Hey Arthur, I noticed I didn't see you at practice today. Are you sick? Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I'm fine." And he's like, well, I didn't see you at practice." I said, "I know." And I said, "By the way, I'll be on a one-way ticket back to St. Croix tomorrow morning." And after I said that, this man started to fidget and fumble and started to say, I could give you a 75% scholarship. And I was like, I didn't even talk about scholarship, no, but it looked like you know where we're going because we had an agreement from October. So I was like, it's still not enough. So then I think he offered 2 more percentages, which it got up to about 85, and I still did not take it. And I think it was more principle more than anything. Like, you're a professional, you're a Division II head coach, and you don't have it together. The funny thing about it is that after that happened, I still made up my mind I wasn't staying. After speaking to my friends that were there, they said that this wasn't the first time he did that to somebody, and I was like, "What?" I said, "How come I didn't tell me? Because if I had tell me, at least I could have braced for impact. You know what I
Right.
mean? Cause this dude, he ain't all there. This man a little scampish. I have a big problem with that. So um, as I said, I wasn't staying, and the next morning I got dropped off to the airport, and I was back to St. Croix. I knew I was good enough to play at least on Division 1 and Division 2, especially because in the summer, this man had the audacity to call my house and ask me if I would like to come back. And I just said to him,
It's
"You should
crazy.
be glad that my mother didn't answer this phone, because I'm pretty sure the few bad words my mother ever cussed in her life, he would have get plenty F bombs because of the situation he put me in. And it was based off of trust, basically. But I
That's
figured
crazy.
you're a professional, you're a head coach for a Division 2 college institution, and this man did me dirty. And I was just like, I don't think you should call this number anymore. I
Mm.
strongly don't recommend it. And
Right.
that was the end of it. After that, I've never made an attempt to play college ball after that. Um,
Artie, Artie, I need
yeah,
to get to these questions here real
sure,
quick because I'm kind of behind on the questions. Do you have Mr. Encarnacion contact information? We definitely love to try and have him on the show.
absolutely, absolutely. He is one of my people I want to be on the show for sure, most
Okay.
definitely.
And we got
And he
that
didn't
was a
just go ahead. Sorry,
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that he didn't just do that for me either. I saw that GB had posted Mark Phillip through 90 miles per hour at 15. He took Mark to college. He took, I
Mhm.
believe, Violet Rajas for volleyball to college. Of course, his son, Cantobal Encarnacion, was at Alcorn. He was my roommate. And Jamil Springer and Dario Rosa was also there too. So
Okay.
Mr. Encarnacion, he didn't just do it for me. Let me make that clear. He did that for anybody that had the potential to play college ball, but more importantly, they had the grades. Because he always told me he he wants at the worst to happen that I get college education out of this.
Yeah.
He would prefer that to happen than me to play baseball. And if I could use baseball to pay for my tuition, so be it. So I was definitely grateful for that. Most def.
So that was a
Um,
question. Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish you were gonna
Oh,
say because I get to these other question.
okay, that's right. So Pang, you asked something. So I
Wait.
didn't
Let me
pledge.
let me get to
Okay,
the. Let me. I try to get to these questions because we're way behind on
okay,
the viewer question.
go ahead, go ahead.
So that was
Shoot.
a question from Dwayne. This question is from Steve. From Steve. Were there a
Panye.
lot of VI player? Were there a lot of VI players on the team in Mississippi when you went to college?
Not on my team, but Alabama State University, yes. There was Eric Duff and Junior Moffat was there, and I believe the year before you had Jermaine Harrison and Ronaldo Watson at Alabama State. And I think when y'all had is it Rasan Smith? He was
Rashawn Smith.
there, but he's a little older than me. Other than that, Cantobal Encarnacion was there. I think when I came up, he had completed his 4th year of college ball.
Okay, and then Bailey was asking who was the coach for that team, and if I could recall, I think Bailey might have been talking about when you was playing with that VI team, university team, when you guys played DR and I think Puerto Rico. I want to say that's when he asked that question.
Okay, so the manager for that team was Joe Clendenin. That would be Richie Farah. He was running the team, and there was, I don't remember this guy's first name, but that was the first time I met him. Last name is Morton. He's deceased. I didn't know he was deceased until 2016. Those were the two guys that I could recall right now. That one was manager and one was coach. That traveled with us and whatnot.
Okay, and then this is a question from Dwayne. I'm not sure. This pretty much ties into Pan question. So where did you become an alpha? Because you went to a few schools. So I'm not sure Pan was gonna ask that too when he talk about the hat.
I'm sure. No, now that I know he went Benedict, I'm sure Benedict. But even
Okay.
Bethune, one of the two. I won't think you pledge at that first school. But I say Bethune and Benedict. I'm more lean on Benedict though.
Okay, so I'm just going to say that you're not right. Either one of them you choose, you're not right. But I can tell you where I pledged. So um after watching Stamp the Yard, I learned something that was under my nose, which was one of my mentors, Martin Luther King Jr. was an alpha.
Mm.
So I had that debate as far as prior to that. If I do pledge one day, which fraternity would I choose? And the first fraternity that I was exposed to was Omega Psi Phi. I have some good friends that are Q dogs. The first two fraternity people I've ever met were Q dogs actually. And I said, okay, so that's potentially one. The other one was Kappa Alpha Psi because of Mr. Gerard who taught at Elena Christian. He actually told me don't pledge Kappa when I was going to school, and I thought that was funny. And when I realized that Martin Luther King was an alpha, I was like, this is so easy, and I just didn't realize it. I said, no questions asked. I want to be an alpha. So after changing the many schools, because I saw that in the comments, um, I needed to find out how to get to be an alpha. And I was home on St. Croix. UVI doesn't have an undergrad chapter. So I learned about alumni chapters in which once you have a bachelor's degree, you can pledge.
Mm.
So that's what inspired me to get back into school along with one of my jobs shift mate at the time. How I viewed it as is that I think he was in his early 40s and I was 23, about to be 24. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, homework. And in my mind, I was like, homework? This man in his 40s, what are you doing homework? But he meant he was going to go back to school and get a degree. And he served 20 years in the military. So I said to myself, well, damn, me at 23, going to be 24, if this old geezer could do this here, what's stopping me? What's my excuse? So after I found out what it took to become an alpha, the man that reached out, what I reached out to, that I didn't even know was even paying attention to me, was Ruben Malloy, and he saw and observed me around the park and everything, and that's the guy who wrote my reference letter basically. And after I got my bachelor's degree from the University of Phoenix in 2010, that's when it was just a matter of finding out when intake would be and the procedures and whatnot, fees affiliated and so on and so forth. So when I graduated in 2010 with my bachelor's, I strived to become an alpha, and March 19, 2011 is when I became an alpha. So I pledged Iota Sigma Lambda and St. Croix. That's the grad chapter or the alumni chapter and St. Croix.
Mm. That's
So I
what's
hope
up.
that answered that question.
You
Nice,
did. You
nice,
did.
nice, nice, nice. Real quick, side to return, fellas. Shout out to our brother, one of our co-hosts, Kevin Tegan Shepard. He was in the chat earlier. You know, I forgot to shout him out as well with the national team, and they're traveling and they're over in DR. So hope everything going well. Make sure you guys be safe, and whenever you guys travel back, make sure you guys have a safe travel. You know, so shout out to our brother Tegan. Much love to you, my brother. Much love. So
Big up
he was
legend.
watching Artie. So yeah. So
Yeah,
my
I
bad, Pan.
actually
So yeah, go ahead. I don't know if you want to ask a question.
No, 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 no. Go ahead.
Go
I
ahead,
want
Artie.
to I want to give a shout out to Tegan as well. Whenever we see each other, even before this podcast started, I always yell out to him, "What going on, legend?" And he would give me back the same respect. And I was like, "Dude, you the real legend. Use the one. You use the walking, living legend. You know, they say legends they become legends when they pass, but Nah, you use the day waka when it comes to that. Use that different type of legend. So I definitely had to give him that shout out. I want to also give some shout outs. First thing is first, because people don't do this often. I want to thank God for all my accomplishment. You know, that's a big deal for me. My mother for always being a supported cast. And definitely want to shout out Bright Eyes. That's the name I go call her. She's a very, very good supported woman. Much love to you. And Dennis Bro, for sure. And I guess when we advance my story a little bit, I gotta talk about Dennis Bro. Yeah, add any more questions before I continue, Mumba?
No. That was the last question. That was the last question. You know,
Well,
so
Okay.
no, I did want to ask, what did you get your degree in? Your bachelor's degree in?
Okay, so I changed 3 times because I didn't really when I went to Alcorn, my goal was trying to be a professional ball player. I didn't have an interest in finishing school. I had great grades. I was on the president and the dean's list. My first year, I always had good grades in any school I've been to, but I didn't know what I wanted to be. So I just picked a major and I picked mass communications. I didn't even know what that was. And when I went to UVI, I changed it from mass communications to psychology. And then eventually, when I started school with Phoenix, I chose management. So I have a bachelor's of science in management. It's a little different from business management, but that's my degree. I also have a master's of management, human resources management. I got that in 2012. Actually, both of my graduation dates was on Father's Day. Strangely as that happened, but that's when it fell. I decided to walk across the stage in Atlanta, Georgia, and I almost have a doctorate. Is the answer to that? Almost.
You
you know
still
why the
working on
father,
it?
you know why the
Huh?
Father's Day, right? You get some
No
kids out there
comment.
that you don't know about, brother.
No comment on that. No comment on that.
Nah, man, I mess with you, man. I mess with
Yeah. All good, all good. So
You
yeah,
still working on your doctorate?
so to be quite honest, if you saw my transcript, it would almost say like I probably have like 3% to finish. That three
Wow.
percent is not classes. It's more of submitting your proposal and getting approval to do research, and then getting the research and fine tuning it so that you could defend it. After you defend it, that's when you could pretty much start to call somebody Doctor So and so. But um, I lost a little bit of the motivation when it comes to that part there. So I don't know if I need to change my topic to something else or what. But I know I want to finish it someday. If it take me until I 70, I think it's something lingering over my head that I need to finish,
Right.
especially since I started.
Respect to that, man. Respect
So
to
yeah,
that for you, man. You know, that's honorable, man. You
yeah.
know.
So
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 go ahead.
no, I was gonna ask. So where do you reside now? I mean, you probably
Oh,
said
I'm
all
home.
yeah, but are you
Yeah,
still home? Okay.
I'm on St. Croix. I'm on St. Croix right now. Been employed with the government for 13 years. Um, still around the community doing things because I I represented two fraternities. You were able to see one, but the other one there on my chest because I wanted to make sure that they don't say I like one more than the other. So I'm very sure Jasan Page, that's a big shout out to him. He's actually the first person that told me about Freemasonry. And for me, I never knew what it was. He explained it to me and then some other guys here. For me, what I needed to know was that it was something good. And after I found out that it was something good, I was like, let's do this. You know, as long as
What
it doesn't take away. You hear the rumors and
I was
whatnot
just about
about
to
these things.
yeah,
Yes,
I was
I
just
know.
about to say
I know.
why such the secrecy about that chapter? Like why it just like it's like the Illuminati, you know what I'm saying, of the chapters.
Okay, so if everybody knows exactly what's going on inside of it, it doesn't make it special anymore. It's just like people who are married. people, the community ain't gonna know what going on with husband and wife.
Mm-hmm.
Husband and wife gonna know what going on with husband and wife. So you have to kind of make it special, make it stand out. And I guess that's a way that it makes people curious enough to want to learn about it. And how you to learn about it is actually join it.
Right.
So that's what I'm gonna say. And if my Facebook friends, if you go on my page and you see the album that I have posted, you'll see some of the stuff that we do in the community. And it definitely contradicts what people say about us. But you know, anybody that knows gossip, they know that the good stuff don't sell more than the bad stuff. So
Right.
rumors and gossip sell more than anything. So that's the unfortunate side of it. But I'm a proud member of both of my fraternities, and I wanted to make sure that I say that because I don't love one more than the other. I love them equally. Um, it helped me to become who I am today too, is what I could say about that. So
I-
more
Is there a
than-
lot of you guys on the Virgin Islands?
yes, there is. As far as active, not really sure about that. But there's a lot of guys probably got rubbed the wrong way and they just faded out and whatnot. Like in anything, you have your internal politics involved in things, and I wish that wasn't the case, so that the purpose would still be there. And if I want to go back to use this word ego, that's probably a factor involved in it too.
Mm.
But it's the concept of a brotherhood is like-minded individuals for one goal. So if, like for example, I would call what you guys have right now a brotherhood. Mumba, Pang, and Tigan, y'all have the same goal. Y'all want to bring out and show out the talent that we have in the territory. And before they can even say thank you, while they're alive, they could actually get that acknowledgement and whatnot. So I want to say commend you guys for this. I think this is great. The other person I want to give a shout out to with that too is Toval McIntosh, also known as Choco, because Choco to do something similar, but he to do it in a banquet farm, and he does it from all age groups to men and women. So there's somebody else locally that does this, but not in this capacity where you have your question and answer segment part of it and so.
Mm-hmm.
So big shout out to that for sure.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I
What
appreciate it.
do you still have to log community service for your chapters?
Lag. I never knew that we had to lag because we don't really do it for the publicity side of it. When I post pictures is pretty much to prove that what people think about us ain't accurate more than anything. There's, like I said, you got more naysayers and what people think about us rather than knowing. And I just simply say, well, come and find out. If somewhere in the process you feel it's not for you, you have all rights to stop. Nobody gonna be mad at you, because at the end of the day, you want members that actually wants to do it. Not somebody that think that they're gonna get something out of it, like a hookup, a job, money. That ain't what it's for. If that's their intent, then they shouldn't join. I'll say for either fraternity, that's not what it's about.
One of my teammates is who made me not join Alpha. I wanted to be an Alpha. But
You
when
have to
this
be an
man
alpha.
when this man used not Alpha, sorry, Kappa. I wanted to be a Kappa.
Uh-huh.
But when this man used to come to practice, and he could barely run and sit down and no sir. No sir. And then man used to have a lot of late nights, Mr. Because like after practice, the man used to just have to run after. You see the man literally running, going and jump, because there was a few of them on the team jumping into cars and just taking
Right.
off. They gotta be somewhere like at a certain time. And
Certain time. Yeah. It one of the other things it teaches you, two things. To be humble and disciplined. That's what it teaches you. Because you're not in charge of yourself, but it's not that they're trying to belittle you. It's more of all of us went through this. I ain't talking about that he saw and stuff like that. I mean, talking about that part. I talking about the actual aspects of it, because that shouldn't be happening. Is all I gonna say about that.
Right, right.
But, as
Man.
far as, okay, so this is what I can say. With either fraternity, what makes you an alpha or a mason is what's in your mind, the knowledge that you obtain or retain, and that's like nobody can take that away from you because it's inside your head. So if tomorrow I were to pass away, God forbid, I gonna still be an alpha, I gonna still be a mason, and I'm okay with that. And nobody can take my information from me. Ain't nowhere hidden. It's, listen, people put so much propaganda under it, and I just find it amusing sometimes. But I'm glad that I know better. You know, sometimes when people tagging ignorance, you just let them tag to see how far they could go, and just let them have it. You know, like if that's what you think, then that's what it is. You know.
One of one of my best friends up here, he's an alpha, and we always to make fun because our school, the alphas is a different breed of people. I could just give you one story, and then you could determine the rest. And we always make fun of this because he is a straight male, and
Uh huh. Okay. Okay.
and this is what determined alphas for me. Like this one, a car ride. Me and Frenchie, and we
Uh
went to a party, and we wanted to go to a party, and like half the school gone, listen, and you know, me and Frenchie, we fresh out the virgin, and we ain't gonna ride, we ain't know nobody or whatever the case may be. And this one partner on the lot, we walking by, and he was like, "Man, y'all ain't going to the party tonight?" I said, "No, we ain't gonna ride." He was like, "Man, y'all could ride with me." You
huh.
know, he is one of the OGs. Them, he ain't in school no more, but he always on the yard. You know what I'm
Uh huh.
saying? But he's like a little pretty boy. No, he don't have no like feminine look or whatever the case, but he just a little weird. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. 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 Okay.
And we in the car, my son. So you know, we from the Virgin Islands, and we had another Yankee. We the dude that room next to me. We all used to hang out. And this man just asking a heap of like, now it dealing with women, but all he talking about is buying them, my son. So I nudging, but he using woman. I nudging
Right.
Frenchie. I nudge Frenchie. The man, I'm like, "Listen, why is this man just keep talking about booty and banana and them thing? And if we ever, you know, like I said, Mr. Hey, big man, we like we didn't reach halfway down the road. No, we were like halfway to the party. I said, hey, big man, I think you got to turn this car wrong, Mister. Else you might be the one walking out there, Mister. Because you might be the one walking back to the school, yeah, Mister. I Mr. And I ready to just wolf this man and take his car and just drive back to the dorms, Mister. But the man just keep talking about heap of, and then when you see that fraternity, it was just weird, Mister, because they have a lot of homosexual in their fraternity, like known homosexual. And
Okay. So
go ahead.
here's what I got to say about that. Right. Everywhere in the world, they have that
I,
in the
I
different fraternities.
I could
I
believe
saw
it.
something very interesting when I was at Benedict College. I saw something very different in Alcorn and Cookman. I didn't. Uh, you know what I gotta say. I didn't really see much alphas on the yard, and I think I know why. And we always say it is because we graduate, so we didn't have that much time to be by them trees painted with the bricks and the benches because we were in class trying to finish
Hmm.
school.
Right.
So um when I was trying to figure out which one, when I was at Benedict, when I mentioned Kappa, my friends are like, "You sure you want to do that?" And when I saw what they were talking about, like, okay, nope. At Alcorn, I saw something similar to what you talking about, and I was like, well, I won't even consider it yet at Alcorn.
Hmm.
I'll be upfront with that. But I'll say by 05, 06, maybe that's when I would consider it. And I think that's when Stamp the Yard came out. And what I can say is
Yeah.
different regions have that that atmosphere. I put that atmosphere that you talk about.
He
But
All right. So,
he
um
he
hey,
definitely solidified it for me, Mister. And I was like, hey, big man, you better take me back to the dorm, Mister. And
got
Frenchie,
you.
Frenchie them behind me like, yeah, you hear what he said. You hear what he said. Frenchie, that's one thing. Frenchie will always be the hype man. Mister.
Uh,
Oh
definitely,
gosh. All right, Artie.
definitely.
So take us into your man league. Take us into man league now. You know your journey with
Okay.
man league. You
All
know.
right. So Man League started in 1999. I was 15 years old. I was actually playing with a team name that I despise this major league team very, very much. We were playing, me and Mama were playing with the Yankees. It was a West team with the Radel Dak James, who used to be on Channel 8.
Yeah.
It was basically like a
Rocky.
Genix team, but with him running it, is what I'm gonna say. Um, I was 15 years old. I remember my first game pitching. I was pitching against the team that I play with now, which is very interesting. Um, I remember I had the top of the order Vikings, and back then in the 90s, Vikings 1 through 7, 1 through 8 was trouble to deal with as a pitcher. My first batter was Colin King. He's a PE teacher at Woodson. A lot of respect for this guy. He need to be on our show too, most def.
Yeah.
Um, he had a hit off of me, and then the next three guys I got out. The next one I strike out with my pop shot fastball, and the next two guys I faced, I felt I made a tremendous pitch, and these guys hit the ball on the warning track. It was a catch, but it was to the warning track. I'm like, geez, I'm Brett. I make a good pitch like this to Dennis Bro and Jose Rivera, and then man take me to the warning track. I said, imagine if I make a mistake. Said that I've been looking for my ball, man. But them guys,
True.
them guys is some elite hitters, like flat. They don't hit fastball alone; they can hit anything. So after that, I actually was controlling the game. Um, I pitched more than play positions, and I guess because of everybody have a role and a team, especially that I was 15, you had men that were actually there. So I didn't mind having a role, and I actually had a pitch count to save my arm and whatnot. I used to have to train a lot more because I was playing in my age group as well as man league too. Um, I got some great opportunities to play with some former major leaguers, minor leaguers. Um, I could definitely say from the late 90s to about mid 2000s, that's when I would probably say the cream of the crop of the man league was really as far as hitters because it was still aluminum bat, but you still had guys that could still swing the bat. Like I can call some names just for you to get an idea of. Dennis Bro, Kenny Jackson, Colin King, Dito Simmons, Makil Rajas, Kevin King, Norbert Pickering, um, Camilo Torres was another one. I think that's all I can remember right now. Oh, Eddie Williams was another one. Rest in peace, Eddie. These
Rest in
guys
peace.
played minor league ball. So these guys were paid to play, and I was playing among them. And to me, that's when man league was man league. Like, yeah, we had our age group, but I think me and my peers were more eager to play against the man and to see how good we were or what we needed to work on. That's what I would definitely say. Was I nervous? I don't think I was nervous. I just wanted to make sure that my pitches that I had were working more than anything. Because I think if they wanted me to play with them, I'm at least good enough to compete in that on that level more than anything. That's what I would say. Um, so I played with Yankees for that first year. We had a nice team. I think we could have did a lot better as far as strategy, as far as when to use players for different rules and different parts of the game, and we had enough of that. Do I think we could have beat the Vikings, the mighty Vikings, after sitting through a game with a 7-run lead in the last inning and the manager is on the bench and Mumba, Leo Mazzoni for the Braves back in the days, he doing that racking thing. People thought he was nervous, but that was just like his comfort during the game doing that racking thing.
Yeah.
I saw some fear and some concern in his eyes, and I was like, why is this man so have this frightened look? And I'm like, okay, We got 7-run lead. We supposed to win this game. The mighty Vikings come back and beat us. And I was like, no way. So I learned about Vikings. I learned about this game ain't done until the last over with Vikings. The man scored 8 runs in one inning half of us and leave on the field. So that there taught me to respect a team named Vikings. That same year was the year that the national team went to, I think, Venezuela, and they had a year. The St. Croix team, I think, merged with some players from St. Thomas, and they went to Cocoa Beach. And I remember Dennis Brown wanted me to come, but he kind of asked me a little too late so that my parents could get a funding to go. But from then, he wanted me to play with Vikings. I didn't really have an interest to play with Vikings because I wanted to prove myself. I felt like I still needed to know how good I was or how bad I was. And the only way to do that is not to play with the best team.
True that.
So the following year, I played with the Cardinals, which was run by Norbert Pickering Jr. That's more of I think a Cyan Farm team, I wanted to say. But my 15 to 16 coach and manager played on a team. So he took a lot of us on a team to play, like Ryan and Jabari, Cedric Joseph, and David Wilshire. I think Clyde Gums too. We were all on our team. So they still had young players there.
Yeah.
The only thing now, when I was on that team, I didn't have much playing time. And it bothered me like hell. I ain't gonna even front. And that was the last time I ever played with them. I was even ready to give up the uniform, maybe like 3/4 of the season. But somebody told me, finish the season, and if anything after that, you do your thing. After that, my league had a little bit of a break, and I think my league started back up when I was at Alcorn, and that would have been 2002, 2003. So I actually just landed back in St. Croix May 2003. And the most controversial call, I think, when Koof aired it on Channel 8, he looped the play over and over. You make the call, you make the call, you make the call. It was a play that involved Geronimo Newton, Eddie Williams was catching, and Ellington Maynard. It was a wild pitch that hit the backstop and ricochet hard back to the catcher. Now, fundamentals teaches a catcher to throw the ball to the pitcher because he's going to cover the plate.
Yeah.
Eddie didn't make it back to the plate in time to get Ellington, but the umpire's judgment was that he got in and he called him safe. That play, along with Pika being on Vikings, is what inspired me to play with Vikings and to go after Yankees. Well, were they Yankees yet or were they Reds still? They were Yankees at that time. Yeah. They had transitioned for a couple names. I think it was from Reds to Pirates and then to Yankees. And just the name alone made it even easier for me to want to beat them because I don't like the New York Yankees. I will not wear a New York Yankees hat. Somebody could buy it to me for and give it to me as a gift. I will burn it and I will throw it in a garbage. I will give it to a dog as a chew toy. I will wipe my foot in it. I will not listen. Man. I do not like the New York Yankees. I don't even want them to win a spring training game. Okay, that's how bad I don't like the Yankees. And after that play happened, 2004 was my first time playing with Vikings. Never won a my league championship, and that year I was fresh out of college. I came back to the team. Of course, Dingo welcomed me with open arms. He had already wanted me to play with Vikings already, and definitely this is a record. This was the second best record. The following year was the record that we broke. We finished 23-2 that season.
Jeez.
It was a critical part in the season. We lost two games. One was to Yankees, and then one was actually to Genix team. Were they basics then, or were they named? Yeah, they were basics at that time. So
Still
I wasn't
basics.
playing. I wasn't playing with basics. I was playing with Vikings, and they beat us one game, and then Yankees beat us one game. So now my role and the team was I was like the cleanup guy in the bullpen because I was at UVI and I was going there. I used to have like some late classes on game days, and usually my classes finish like 7:15 when the game already started. So what used to happen is whoever would start the game, they would throw their 5 innings to get a W, to get a win, and whatever was left in the game, that was my responsibility. So I guess you could kind of say I was like the closer for a little bit until Geronimo Newton was coming back around to the games and stuff. Um, there was one game I believe I started that Mr. Encarnacion he was the assistant coach for Vikings as well. Um, he let me start against basics. We had beat them, but majority of my season was in relief towards the middle to the ending of the game. When we got to the playoffs, more importantly the championship, um, we started game one with Kenny Jackson and we lost to the Yankees. Now, usually, as I said, I'm a reliever. So now that we had Geronimo Newton there, Mr. Encarnacion said to Dingo, "Hey, use Artie." He said, "All them guys ain't getting no swings hitting right hand because Yankees had about six switch hitters in their lineup so that they
Jeez.
could get that edge on whoever is pitching."
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said, let's turn them around, make them on bat right hand. Cause they ain't getting enough swings that on that side of the plate. And we started, they started with me. I think we got to about a sixth inning, we were losing like by four. And I saw guys in the dugout with their head down. And I was like, what the hell wrong with I my son? Like, this is Vikings. This is a team that when I come to the league, that my manager had fear, the fear of God in his eyes. And we put our head down, but I guess it's because they had some years consecutive that they had won. So I was like, hell no, this ain't about to be my first championship. Are we going on like that? So I was like, no, sir. I rat up everybody in the dugout. Next thing you know, we take the lead, mister. I think I started into the eighth. I probably got 2 outs into the eighth. And then his bro Carlin, the closer, the real closer, Geronimo Newton, shut the door for us. So we tied the series. It was a 3 out of 5 series. Then Kenny Jackson started game three. We beat them. And then game four was mine again. I threw 8 1/3 innings with like a day or two
Wow.
rest. And I threw a lot of pitches. I did, but I was very much in a lot more shape than anything because I used to run a lot more. I wasn't walking yet. I was going to UVI and playing ball. That's all I was doing. So got to that. Had my first champagne bath, and if you go on my page for any Vikings championship, you're gonna see me in a picture with goggles. After 2004, when Mr. Joel Rodriguez Sr. Pica and Mr. Warren Brooks Sr. paid me with champagne, I learned that champagne burn the hell out of your eyes. So I said the pros that got their Oakleys to protect their eyes when they popping champagne in the clubhouse. I said, me ain't letting this happen again. So ever since then, I used to buy goggles and make sure I walk with it if it's a game for a clincher for a championship for us. And we end up winning the championship. It was nice. Of course, they call Vikings a Grove team. I was raised up in Wim. I lived in Lorraine Village for 3 years. I spent most of my childhood, I would say, between Wim and Cambridge. So I'm definitely a Frederickstead guy, but I'm a Crucian. And then I'll be
You,
a Virgin Islander after
you
that then.
got you got double black. You say you live in Lorraine for 3 years?
Go ahead. Building 18, apartment J. I believe that's your top too.
Of course. Building
Yeah,
18,
I know,
building.
I know.
That's the building right down on the bottom of 20. Apartment J.
It's the it would be like the if you're talking about from the 7-day church side to get to Lorraine, it's
Yeah.
the first entrance,
And
and it
you
would
just drive
be
to
the
the back
building
of
on
the
the end.
park. Yeah, you drive to the back of the parking lot, and then it's that building right there. Okay, so J,
Right.
use the fourth
J is at the
to
end.
use the third to last apartment on that building.
No,
You live
I think I would okay, so maybe in J. I want to end. I want to end.
on the end. I
I
know
want to end.
everybody. I know
If
every.
ANJ is
I know everybody that live in that building because I grew up in Lorraine, so I know. Okay, so who was your neighbor? And I'm gonna tell you that it gonna put me in a time frame.
Annika. I don't know her last name,
Samuel,
but I remember Annika.
Annika Samuel.
I think her mom is on her mother that work in the hospital, I believe.
Yeah. I
But
think
they were my
Annika.
next door neighbor.
I think Annika is a Samuel. Yeah. That's crazy. I never knew you lived Lorraine. Lorraine is a
Yeah.
family, so I know everybody that came to Lorraine.
Yeah. it was something alright. I could definitely say that. It was definitely something living out there. I had enjoyed the big open field by my back door because we used to play baseball out there.
By the
You
court.
know, huh?
By the court.
No. So the court was more west of our building.
Like it's behind the building, in front the building, behind you is the court, the front court.
Right.
So you talking about playing in between the building.
Them
Gotcha.
open field, yeah. It had a big
Gotcha.
open field, yeah.
What years was that? What years you lived there?
1992 up until 95. So 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, I went to Cambridge. I live in Cambridge when I get closer to Arthur Richards. So I didn't go to Eulalie Rivera. I was going to Alexander Henderson.
Gotcha.
So I guess they had the whim address. So that's probably why I was still in the Concordia Whim district.
Any older siblings?
Sophia Canaii.
Sophia, did she go to school?
No.
Or Arthur?
She went to Arthur Richards. She would have been in Arthur Richards when I was in 5th grade.
Sophia Canaii. She on Facebook?
Yeah, she was in Arthur when you was there, Pan.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because I think back then
she was in my grade. She was in my grade.
I think she was 2 grades ahead of me. And I believe when I went to Arthur Richards, that's when it took away the ninth grade from Arthur Richards. And when I went to Arthur Richards, that's when Complex was built.
Yeah.
So
she graduated. She and my sister graduated together.
Right.
That's
right.
99,
right.
Class of 99. Complex.
Correct.
Remember your sister went to Complex though?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever met your sister.
No, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think,
my sister used to have Artie sister, so, and other girls.
I had a class with my sister. We had photography together, Mr. Borges' class.
Oh yeah, Mr. Borges, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Facebook got it. All right, I see you. Yeah, that's my sister.
Pang ain't playing, brother. Pang moving quick.
I tried to. That's the weird thing is that's the only, not weird because ain't everybody into Facebook. But that's the only picture she have up there. So unless you gotta be her friend to see more.
Probably.
I trying to picture her. I gonna be contemplated on this because I swear I know everybody in Lorraine that come through Lorraine while I was there.
We were there for 3 years.
When you said 3 years, I was like, what? Man, I ain't never see this man in Lorraine.
Sean, I think I might be late, but Sean said Ice Pop area.
No, Sean, ain't no Ice Pop area down there.
It had no. I think it had a woman named her name was Mother. That's what they used to call her.
Mother is my grandmother.
Okay,
that's Frenchie grandmother. So that's my grandmother.
Okay, so this is how I describe it. So I could have see mother front door from my back door.
Now I know where you live now. Okay.
I remember.
Okay. So I was thinking of the apartment, and the weirdest thing, I live in that apartment. After I left complex. Me and my
Okay.
sister get at that apartment. Okay, now you're talking now.
So, so if you remember, Jaha, Jendai, Jaisha, them,
Yeah.
they were adjacent to me. They
So
were
at
like,
that you want here at that time there. So I live in the same building as Jaha and Jendai them in the same
okay,
building around that time.
okay,
Um, Mother apartment at the time when I was younger, I was living next to mother. Like we were mother and me as neighbors. But then when my
okay.
mother moved out of Lorraine, I didn't move. I moved to building 20 and Jaha didn't build it. And
Okay.
but man, we don't got talk. We don't got talk, man. After this, because you got my head
So
rocking now, my son.
I can make it easy for you, right? So if I wasn't playing baseball in the open field, I was inside doing schoolwork.
Now I know what field you're talking about now because I was
Yes.
thinking at the other end of the building.
I know what you're talking about, but no,
Okay,
it's a
okay,
big open field, big open field.
man.
You can't go wrong. Yeah, that's what I talk about. So yeah, I
Crazy.
was there
I
for
was
3 years.
neighbors. I was neighbors, and I didn't even know it.
Basically,
No, I didn't even know that.
It's crazy.
yep.
Yeah, man.
But you were wrong for moving out anyway.
Well, you know what I gotta say. I'm not mad for the relocation. Um, things got a little better for us, is what I would say. So I'm glad, I was grateful for that, and I
Yeah.
was also closer to Arthur Richards, which that's where we're going to school next.
Hassani George was also your neighbor. You are cool with Hassani?
I don't remember who's Hassani Judge. I remember that Dana was, but they live a little bit closer to the parking lot,
Mm,
and
don't
that's
know what.
because their mother had working. She used to work in a bank with my mother. I think you would probably know Zoe Danawa. She used to run track,
Oh,
and she probably would be your age group.
Zoe and Sonora.
I don't know Sonora. I know all of the all of her children. Name begin with a Z. All of them.
Right.
But
Zonora. Maybe it's Zonora. I think it's Sonora.
okay.
No. Zoe. Okay. I need a refresher because yeah. I know Zoe. I
Okay.
know if you put her face in front of me, I know her the name that. But I
Yeah.
think
I know she used
maybe
to
I
run
think
track.
about Gertie and Sonora. Okay. But anyway,
Yeesh.
we don't got to talk at a different thing because I could do this all day.
No problem. No problem.
So Artie, you're playing with Vikings. You won a championship. Multiple championships. How did that relationship happen between you and Dennis Bro?
um. So as I mentioned, in '99, when Vikings had pretty much took their team and some additional players to Cocoa Beach, he wanted me to come with them. I guess he saw youth and that he could help develop the youth into what it would probably take to be a top caliber type of player, is what I would say. And when that play happened, at the plate with Ellington Maynard and Eddie Williams,
Yeah.
I told him right there, I said, I am playing with you guys next year. And he was like, no problem. Like he have always wanted me to be on his team. You know, the funny thing about it is, right, he usually takes a trip for his birthday, I believe is in March every year, and it's usually a cruise. And the crazy thing about it was he always left me in charge of the team. Even though it was my first year with the team, he left me in charge. And I couldn't
Wow.
understand why until we had a conversation. So he saw me in action when I used to coach my females team. The first year I was an assistant coach, and then the lady who was the manager, she gave me full ownership of the team. I guess she felt like she did her time and she was trying to pass the torch.
Who's that individual? Who's that lady?
Michelle Green, that's another rest in peace. She had passed away a few years ago. She used to work in the post office in Frederickstead. Nice lady.
Rest in
She
peace.
entrusted me to help coach her team along with Steven Rosario, think everybody know him as Capone. It was the
Yeah.
three of us that used to run a team, and I had some great female players on our team too. I must say, one of the best I've ever coached. I did that for about 6 years. But going back to Dennis Brown, so he saw my ability to strategize and find ways to win, and that's the Vikings philosophy. You know, we may not have home run hitters, but we got speed, or we may have guys who could put a ball in play. So now you could hit and run, get fielders out of position to create holes and advance runners off of just hitting behind the runner, little things like that.
Yeah.
Again, for me, I've always said go for the higher percentage in the game. You know, if somebody has this ridiculous shift on you, hit the ball out of the way. You know, you could probably get a double out of a ball that you probably get a ground out or a single on. You know, it's that I never believed in the extreme shift. I could understand you shifting a little bit because somebody's a pull hitter or whatever the case is, but when you have a third baser playing shortstop, I'm like, nah, that means you didn't really master hitting enough to hit the ball where you want to hit it. You know, so you basically gonna be a easier, but there's that stubborn philosophy of, well, I gonna hit it through the shift, which some major leaguers have that mentality. But I never believed in that. But yeah, so Dennis Brown entrusted me in running a team while I was playing on it, and I actually thought that me being my youthful self, that the guys want to respect when I tell them to bunt or steal or hit and run, but they actually listen to me.
Oh, nice.
Um, that was I appreciated that. I played with some very good guys, I must say, on a Vikings team. Um, but as the years grew, Mr. Bro definitely put some trust in me until the point where I became either the ace on the team when my arm was good or second in the rotation. And I think 2005, my second season, I won pitcher of the year.
Nice.
Um, that was pretty cool. That's the year we had that record of going 24-1. Um, the one last was the Yankees, and that year I would say I mentioned the Dominican Republic game. I pitched a 2-1 game. That year I pitched against Timothy Brewer when he was playing with the Yankees, and that was a championship game. And I would say that that is another top three that I pitched. The other one would have been a two-hitter against Cardinals. I had a two-hit shutout I had against them. But a game against Timothy Brewer, I think Yankees struck first. They got one zip lead on me, like in the second inning, and then we tied the game. So now me and him going like a dog fight, like a real World Series game. We at it every inning, three up, three down. I striking out the side, he striking out the side. Oh, we getting easy outs up until the eighth inning. Um, I walked. Who did I walk? I believe I walked Makil Rajas. No, I walked Dito Simmons, and Makil was batting behind of him, and I was basically begging for one more hitter, and Dingo probably felt I did my job. I got a team to where the bullpen could pick up the slack, and I don't need to try to win the game by myself or control the game by myself. And I will say that that was something I had to learn. Being youthful, I was 21 at that time. That's something I had to learn as I got older, which he didn't make the right call. I just didn't like the outcome when I came out the game. He brought in Geronimo Newton, and Geronimo Newton is one of the best closers any pitcher in the league, anybody in the BI could ever have, because his mentality was like, just try your 5 innings and get your W, and I'll get a rest for you. And I don't think this man ever had a sore arm or anything. This man just could have pitched, and he taught me a lot about pitching. Could definitely say that.
Yeah.
But as he came in the game, at the time, Makil Rajas was hitting left. I think he had stopped hitting right for a minute, and he hit a blast to left center, a triple up the fence up of Geronimo, and it scored 2 runs. So now we down 3-1
Shoot the one,
in the
yeah.
8th inning, and then we start to hit Timothy Brewer, in which we took the lead, got ahead 4-3, and he shut down the Yankees in the last inning. So at that point, we up one in the series. Kenny Jackson through game 2, we beat up, and then think they use Angel Torres, known as Gito. He threw game 2, we beat him, and then I think we had a youngster. I want to think it's Ruben Garcia, also known as Goldo. Me and him came to Vikings at the same time. He was a bit younger than me, but very talented youth man. Good pitch, great pitcher. Had some major league stuff, but a few rank turns here and there, and that happened.
Yeah,
But
that's true. That's true.
we ended up sweeping them 3-0. The following year, I actually had two seasons going on at the same time, where Makil had reached out to me, and he said if I wanted to play ball in Vieques, and it'd be like a little semi-pro, you get paid a little thing and whatnot. I said, well, sure, because I didn't give up on my dream to get signed and whatnot. I was 22 at the time. I don't think I'm too old yet for major league or minor league stuff. So I agreed with it, and we went over. We had a nice season, a season that I don't think Vieques had get to actually had that opportunity yet to see them winning as much as we did. I must say that in that year, that's one of the most support from the fans I've ever seen. And I wasn't even a local, but because I represented the Vieques Caribes, the fans were phenomenal. And I gonna talk about something that has never happened to me before. And then I want to like bounce back a little bit. So over there, we used to play between 7 innings and 9 innings. It depends on if it's a Saturday game, we play a double header, and it's usually 7 innings. But if we play in one game, we play 9, kind of like college.
Yeah.
Um, one of the most interesting games I ever pitched in, I threw into the 12th inning,
That's
and
crazy.
I started the game. It was a
Wow.
7 inning game. We were playing in Humacao, Puerto Rico, and I wanted to beat this team more than anything because this coach, he was from St. Thomas for the Humacao Playa team, and he was on some hating vibes. I don't remember his name or anything, but I tell Makil was catching for me over there. I said, listen, I want to beat this team bad. That they got me my first loss as well. So I had it in for them.
Yeah.
Competitive nature, that's naturally how we're gonna be.
True that. True that.
So we my team then really scored a lot of runs. So pretty much I had to throw a gem every time I got a W. If I didn't throw a gem, more than likely we lost. So my team used to average 2 or 3 runs a game.
Wow.
So that's show you what kind of thing it was,
That's rough.
Yeah. So I had a 1-zip lead into the 7th inning. Bottom of the 7th inning. Guy got on an error, and then he got the third and a hit. Struck out the next guy, and then a broken bat dribbler to second base got the guy from third to score.
Wow.
And then I got the last out. So the manager of the team, can't remember his name right now, but I know he used to play with the Cubs. He said, okay, so I can put in the closer now. And I watch him like, no, I want more, I want to beat this team because they might give me my first L. I ain't like that, So he let me stay in, got out the inning, and we didn't score either. We were the visiting team. So we got into the ninth. So he said, if we don't score after this, taking you out. And I said, in my mind, we better score because I ain't coming out this game. So he saw that I still had my strength. Velocity didn't die down or nothing. Back then, I tapped out at 88 and I was more consistent 84, 85 with like 3 or 4 pitches. And I got out the 9th inning, so we got into the 10th inning. So he telling me again, you know, there's a 10th inning, you know, I don't want to kill you. And I was like, I ain't coming out this game until we got lead. And and Makil only laughing because he was like, why this dude keep coming back to you, knowing that you gonna tell you that you ain't want to come out. So I think I struggled the first dude, then Shasta made an error and then we got double play. Get out the 10th inning. Gone to the 11th inning now. We ain't scored. Still 1-1. Shasta lead off the inning with an error. I got a fielder's choice and then a double play. Get out the inning. So now we're in the 12th inning now, and we still ain't scored. And Shasta lead off the inning with an error again. I had nothing left in the tank. When he was coming for me, I didn't even like fight him with it. I just like were walking off the field, respectfully, of course, because I don't ever show up my manager or my coach. And the other team all got out of the dugout and took off their hats, tipping their hat to me. The fans, even the Humacao fans, were doing the same thing. The 14th inning, we score 3 runs. And all I was saying is, why I couldn't give me 1 run when I was pitching, man?
I know, right?
So we ended up winning the game. Yeah, we ended up winning the game 4-1. And so now you're looking for ice to ice my arm and whatnot. The owner for the Humacao AA team approaches me and he tells me he wants me to pitch for them. And I was like, wow. So I said, like, is this what it's like? That's all I was saying. Like, you know, these things don't happen. These things happen in movies, you know. And he said he wanted me to play with a AA team. I think Makil had gotten an offer to play with a different team in AA as well. So if we weren't in the same division, we might have been playing against one another eventually.
Yeah.
Crazy things were happening after I walk off. A lot of fans were sticking money in my pocket or in my hand.
Wow.
I said, whoa. Said, this is crazy. Never experienced something like that before. I think the only thing close to that was when I played in Mexico in the 17 to 18 division. Kids were asking for my autograph. And I was like, we lost. Like, why do you want my autograph? But I guess they feel like if they're playing in this age group, somebody gonna get signed. So they're gonna be famous, so that ball gonna be worth something. And I was just flattered by it, like, wow, you know, somebody asked me for my autograph.
Yeah. So
But,
what country is the best country you've been to that baseball or softball took you?
Okay, so I guess I have to call the teams that won everything for the years that I played there, because I think only one host team won everything, which was a year we played in Caguas, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico won that year. I think like 5 guys got signed that year from their team, like without a doubt. I know who they were. They know the names, but I know who were the elite players on that team.
Yeah.
But that Mexico trip, Venezuela won. I always felt like Venezuela was like the best hitters to me. I don't think it was pitching. Maybe some feeling, but hitting, that man go swing the stick. It had 2 years. I think Panama won in 15 to 16 bracket. 14 years old, I believe. Was it Aruba that may have won? It wasn't. I know it wasn't DR, because I think DR had just came back from suspension because they had overage players, so they weren't really the best in the division. But it was either Aruba or Panama that may have won that year. I want to say. So all I can say is it varies. I've never played in a tournament where Dominican Republic won everything. That's what I can say. So I probably might say Venezuela. If I had to choose, I'd probably say Venezuela.
Venezuela was your favorite trip?
Um, okay, so also you meant my favorite trip.
Yeah, yeah, your
Okay,
favorite
if I look
favorite
at, like,
country
the
you
best
been to?
tour. Um, maybe Aruba. I like Aruba. Aruba
Okay.
because we were the field is right by the airport, but also right by the beach. You can't hit no ball in the air. It ain't gonna go anywhere. It had a brisk wind that pulls like if you hit the ball to right field, it's going to be a foul ball. If the
Jeez.
wind was that strong. Like you had to hit the ball right center for it to get to the foul line, to be fair. That's how hard the wind was blowing. And they don't have any grass on their field. So infield is dot, outfield is dot. Um that was probably one of the better teams I played on to in that age group too. But yeah, that I would say Aruba. It
So
was a
how
different experience.
how many years did you play my league before you kind of got into like umpiring?
Well, okay, so I'm still playing. I actually won didn't have an official MVP for last season, but that's what Dingo decided as far as the season that I won the MVP. So I don't pitch anymore because the wing is real bad right now, but I'm still playing. So from 2004 to present, I still play.
Oh wow.
Um, as far as umpiring, I started umpiring in 2008, and I'm still doing that. So I have umpiring under my belt for 12 years. Um, as far as coaching, and I think coaching or managing compared to being a trainer is very different. So I wanted to say I started coaching Little League when I left Little League. I was that guy that when Genix was running Yal team basics on a big field, he had me running Reds on a little field. So I wanted to say that from the time I left Little League until I was making 18, I was away for a little bit and then I came back when my brother was 10 years old. So came back in '05 and then I stopped. I did it for 3 years and then I stopped with Little League and then I was coaching a junior league, women's fast pitch softball, and I was assistant coach for Vikings and assistant coach for Jackos after the founder, Ricardo Kiki Felix, had passed away. He passed away in 2008.
Rest
So
in peace to him, man.
yeah, he was a real good dude. I think to call him Bronco, but for me, he was Kiki. He was a unbiased, cool, down to earth dude, full of jokes too. Um, he used to like to tell a lie. When you calling me, asking him, like, how far are you there from the park? He said, I there right around the corner, and everybody know he ain't leave his house yet. But that if you want to call a bad thing, that was probably it, and I don't think that that's bad at all. But
Yeah.
Kiki was a good dude. I know a lot of us miss him. He gave me my real full opportunity to play fast pitch as well. And in fast pitch, I played center field and I used to be Pika catcher in fast pitch. You know that there with a complex team.
Yeah.
And that's something I always wanted to do when I was like before I even started Little League because Moses Picharo, I think I'll start practice. I believe you probably would have been 11. I won't play in Little League yet. I used to, well, I was amazed at like all the gear to catch out of weird.
Yeah.
So I used to be like, I want to do that. But the thing was, I was left handed. So you ain't gonna have left handed catchers. But I could say I started that trend because I don't know of anybody that was catching left handed in any division in the territory until me.
To you, that's
And
true.
I did that for fast pitch. I did that in man league, not consistently, but I did I did catch in some playoff games, and I definitely did with the national team for fast pitch as well. So if you want to say I made some believers out of people that didn't think left-handers could be catchers, I would say that yes, and I was grateful for the opportunities that some folks gave me with that too, because like aside from Kiki, BB Bates, Dennis Brow, Maching, them they all trusted me to be back there, and I guess they felt confident with me back there because I had a pitching mentality, so I could call a good game. So I think that had a lot to do with it.
Okay.
And
Oh, go ahead.
I just saying like I think that was the fun part about it. Like since I don't pitch windmill or slingshot, um the ball don't always come to me if I was a catcher, and
That's
I
true.
had a pitcher arm back there throwing to any base, so nobody really used to try to run either. And then as time evolved, you get your little injuries and you start to play or feel alone, or you play for space where you don't have to throw the ball as much. So that's what happened with that.
How was it like umpiring? Because with umpiring, you're still in the game. You up close and personal in the game, but you're not competing. You're not pitching. You're not hitting. You're not feeling. How was it like umpiring and seeing it from that perspective, being an active player?
Okay, so one thing with me with umpiring, I always wanted to make sure that the respect for the game was always there. So now and again, I might shoot some good counsel to some players, like especially like if I see them, they head down like little leaguers, especially because if you strike out bases loaded and you ain't come through, you feel like you just let the whole wall down. I seen players, even some females, with their head down, they want to cry and everything, and I might spit some good counsel. So I like that aspect of it. The other thing I like is that I get to give back. Um, I more than likely when I'm umpiring, it's a division I can't play in. So that would mean kids or females would be the division I won't play in. And whenever the national team travels to Dominican Republic, which probably would have been happening next week if not for COVID, I would have been down there umpiring. And I believe this month we would have probably been Peru because they
Oh
qualified
wow.
for their games last December. They placed high enough to qualify. I must say every team has the respect of the Virgin Islands in the Dominican Republic for that tournament. It's a Copa tournament. Everybody has the Virgin Islands respect for sure. They may not be much guys that were professionals, but they definitely have a good game when they're playing. Like when the DR team is playing against the Virgin Islands, it's not a blowout for sure. They know that for a fact. But I don't think we've beaten them in that tournament. But I know the 18 and under, I think 2 or 3 times when Brow goes down there and comes back with a winning trophy. So I'm glad to see that that's happening. And I mean, it creates opportunities for the younger players. And that's why I've never even tried to play on that team because my time has passed. I'm 36 right now. I ain't going anywhere. I can't throw 100 miles per hour. I don't have a goal in arm. So
Yeah,
it's their time. Let me try to give back in a different way.
that's good.
So I know the first time when I was there, when I was umpiring a game with Dominican Republic against Haiti. And the Dominican Republic team had all the flamethrowers. And all I was saying back there when I was chiefing behind the plate was, this catcher better don't miss this ball.
Yeah.
Because the ball was definitely coming. And I guess what I could say is being an active player, the ball don't come too fast that I can see it. Versus somebody that been out the game or an older guy, the ball might be coming too fast for him and stuff. No, I could follow it. And I took the liberty one time to ask a scout, what's the hardest reading that he got? And he said
Yeah.
94. And I just said, I know who trained it. By the time I see it come out of his hand, I know who trained it. Because I remember, I believe you were still in Iowa. I used to catch you doing some bullpens. I think you threw against us my last year in big league, 17 to 18. So I got a taste of 190 something look like.
Yeah.
And even though we're catching with a first base mitt, and I think one of them time I catch the ball wrong, I bend my thumb a little bit, but I definitely knew what I was like. So I was like, okay, so this is like Mumba fastball, but I think he probably used to try a little harder, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess what I could say is the fact that I could give back and the fact that the game ain't too fast for me is what I get out of it while respecting the game and making sure that the players, do what they supposed to hustle on, don't get into no altercations with other teams and stuff like that. You still get your little hot heads and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
that's one of the things I try to do. And I guess that's a page from Gravy Handbook, because I remember when Gravy used to be around the field, and Gravy passed away when I became a firefighter, and I couldn't get to go to his funeral. But one of the things I did do was when my women's team won the championship, I had Alan sign the ball and I gave the ball to his wife.
Oh, that's
That was
nice, man.
my gesture to him,
Yeah, that's
because
nice.
Gravy never gave me any bad advice or anything. Gravy should have been around the park still, man. I miss Gravy a lot. A lot of these kids, I think they would have go the right way if Gravy were around, especially in that Wimbledon park.
Yeah, that's true. Rest in peace to Gravy, man.
Definitely.
Good guy.
What's
Gravy was a
Gravy's real name? Because the name don't ring up.
Emil Henderson Jr. So if you know the attorney Emil Henderson III, that's his son. And the Frederickstead Fire Station, I believe, would be named after his father,
Yeah.
which is Emil Henderson Frederickstead Fire Station.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So like I mentioned, he's one of the guys, one of the four that influenced me to be an umpire. So the only thing I wish I could have do with the three that passed away was actually get to umpire a game with them.
Oh wow, that'd have been nice.
Yeah, I got to do it with Alfredo Johnson squeeze with Frankie Johnson, the senator elect, and I get to umpire with Charles Zitbrow from Grove. That's Dingo uncle. So I definitely got to get something back with that, and I all I could do was appreciate the moment. That's what we call it. It's a special moment for me,
So
especially the guys who was there giving back while I was young, to actually be able to officiate with them. I think like it's more of a humbling experience for me.
oh, definitely, definitely. Who's your top five? Your top five favorite softball women's softball players, top five men's softball players, top five major league baseball players, and top five major league managers. Your favorite?
You said managers too?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Where to start? Okay. So for the females, my favorite players, Sheila Gums. That's one. Anna Marie Encarnacion. That's two. Patricia Smith. That's three. Desiree Miranda. That's four. A fifth one is a tough one right now. You know what? I like Lily. I like Lily Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lily was a damn good ball player before her injury. So that's who I would say. I want to mention an honorable mention because for one, she didn't play that long, but I remember when she started playing with my team, me and my good friend Edwin DeWeer, we took her from being a night batter on a different team than a year ago to being a third or fourth bat in anybody's lineup.
Wow.
She could hit, and all she really needed was a little walk. So I gonna mention Kiana Gonzalez as my honorable mention, and she's only an honorable mention because she didn't play that long. Like after high school, I don't think she played again.
Yeah, man. Big up to Canaii. What's her first name?
Kiana Gonzalez, and I gonna
Gonzalez.
mention Rinia Guzman as well too. I just don't think I coach her long enough.
Okay.
I want somebody else to take that credit for hers, but she definitely got hot for sure. Okay, so that's Sabal. So men's Sabal now. Woo.
Yeah.
Warren Brooks, Antonio Cruz Sr., Joel Rodriguez, Justino Navarro Sr.,
Christina Navarro.
probably go with Jose Rivera Sr. That's my five.
So 5.
Big up to
Um,
Warren Brooks. That's my big bro.
yeah, big up to Dottie.
Yeah, big
That's
big on
that's
Warren.
that's the guy. That's the guy. Okay, so that's Sabal out the way. You said Major League now, right?
Yeah.
So I could do players and pitchers for Major League.
Yeah, go ahead. You could do that.
Okay, so for pitchers, Randy Johnson. If anybody knows me, they know my jersey number is 51, and that's why episode 51 was critical for me. That's my jersey number, and it's also my umpiring number as well. I make
Okay.
sure I got 51 all over the place. So Randy Johnson, that's my favorite pitcher of all time. I may have not been 6'10", but I like the mentality that he had, which was killer instinct and dominate. And
True that.
when I came back from college, my mentality was I want to strike out everybody at least once. I was so pissed if somebody hit the ball, put a ball in play, and I had 2 strikes. If I work so hard to get 2 strikes, I want you to swing and miss for a third strike.
Yeah, you want to finish
So
them.
yes, I wanted to finish them. I couldn't throw over 100 miles per hour like what he used to be able to do, but that was my dude right there. That's my number one. I liked Tom Glavine.
Nice.
He was pretty good. Jake Arrieta,
Okay.
John Smoltz, and I know I don't get a lot of heat for this here because I don't like this team, but I have to give credit to Mariano Rivera.
Yep. It's the man.
That's the man.
It's the legend.
Hitters. My favorite hitter of all time is Mark Grace. He used to play with the Cubs, and I stay representing the Cubs, and I don't fake it. I am the number 1 fan.
You're young. You're young is the only 2 Cubs fan I know, brother.
No, so I got a moment. You just don't know about him. It's a few of us scattered. So Mark Grace. Why Mark Grace? Because he didn't strike out a lot, and he could have hit the ball in the left center gap all day long and get doubles. So Mark Grace, Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr., Tony Gwynn. Who would be my 5th?
Some nice choices right there, brother.
I probably gotta think about a 5th one right now. Nobody really coming to me right now, but I'm pretty sure it's a lefty. Hold on a second. Let me see something. I think I had written down something like that. Prior. So let me just make sure.
This guy. You say he's a lefty? Terry Pendleton.
Nah, I didn't hate the Braves, but I know that's your team,
Lefty. Who else? Raul Ibanez.
Nah,
Pete
what I
Rose.
say?
Pete Rose.
Nelson Cruz.
Oh, Nelson. Okay, Nelson Cruz.
Yeah, I like his playoff game more than anything. He's clutch in the playoffs, and I think that's why he still have a career.
Nice choice. Nice choice. Good. That's a good part.
Yeah.
Good dude too. He's a good dude.
Local hitters. Dennis Bro is a top of the food chain for sure. Justino Navarro, Jose Rivera, Colin King, and I'm going to say one of my peers, Cedric Joseph. Big shout out to Cedric Joseph. As I said before, this man is clutch, and he in my age group, that's the dude I want batting. If anybody in my age group, that's who I want to be batting at the plate. So yeah, You said managers too, right?
Yeah, managers.
I've never really thought about that before, to be quite honest.
I know.
But you know what? I did like somewhat of the rawness from Azigian, even though he was a little too raw when he was employed in the MLB. Um, I like Dan Joe Madden because he helped the Cubs to win a World Series. So that's my reason for that. Um, who else? I'm not really a La Russa fan. That would be like unheard of. So I don't think I have that much. Bobby Cox was all right to me. You know, I think he just didn't finish the job because you only win one World Series with all those division titles. I think you didn't master the craft. You just mastered winning the National League, but not the whole thing.
That was tough. That was some tough years for him, man.
Miss Son, if it were tough, yeah, he
Coming so close.
he are consistent, but he couldn't take it over the hump. You know, I don't hate the Atlanta Braves though. I mean, when us living in this territory, you're gonna see the Cubs, you're gonna see the Braves, and you're gonna see Mets or Yankees, depending on who playing, or the Sunday night game on ESPN, depending on who get it airtime.
Artie, so I have a special guest for you. I have a special guest. We have a special guest.
Okay.
We have a special guest for you. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do any introduction, Paul. This person don't need no introduction. Okay, but we have a special guest. This is his first time at being on the podcast.
Okay.
All right. All the way from Santo Domingo.
No way. Yes, sir.
No, we say
Legend.
legend.
You saying?
It's your night, man. I had to come in. We just leave the game. I just run home, run to the computer and said, damn, these men still in a line talking. Jesus Christ, bro.
Well, when I noticed. When I noticed.
Yeah, so we there now.
Okay, now
He's saying, Bo. Much love, Bo.
Yeah, man. Good to see you, man. Well deserved, man. I just had to come out and say I'm super proud of you. You was always a legend. You don't know. Always.
Just like you.
No. Tonight is all about you, bro. Don't know, man. Super proud. We're about to jump on a plane. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be back. I think Wednesday. So we got a long journey.
Gotcha.
About COVID tests, man. I take so much COVID tests this week. If another man touch my nose, I get in trouble. Well, my God.
Yeah, them swabs will be rough. I ain't gonna even front. Them
crazy. It's crazy, but
that's crazy.
It is what it is. Yeah, we did about 6 tests. Yesterday they did one because we have to fly back. The damn shit almost reached my eyeball. Well, my God.
Why did it do so hard?
I don't know. I tell the lady, yo, see how big my nose be? Why the hell you pushing the phone? Why you guys so far out my nose?
She mad at you, brother. She mad at you.
I'm laughing. I say, serious. When you doing it, you don't be hurting my eyes, man. She going too far. But thank God everybody COVID free. And the VI team represented. We lost the DR. DR is a very superior team, but we did right there. And we just got to keep working.
I thought
qualifying?
it was so hard because I was beating them.
Well, that's another story. When you play in the lands of the Giants, right? You gotta really beat them. Bang know how it goes.
Right.
Anytime you teetering around where you can take that lead, you can really, and I don't like the conspiracy thing. You just gotta beat them soundly. If you gonna be right there, they gonna get the benefit of the doubt. Let me just leave it like that.
I think
you qualify?
No, we right now we didn't turn the top 3 qualifying for the next round, so we still got one more window in February. So if you're still ready, Pang, you, Artie, and Mumba, get in shape. We need you guys for the February window. Right, Bo? Bo is a coach right now, so I'm assistant to Bo, so Bo is doing a great job. And
tell Bo I say congratulations, and finally They see the light.
Congratulations for real.
I got a word to send you congratulations from before, so thanks again.
Yeah, congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Finally, my son, they see the light, my son.
Yeah, that's too fine. You're right.
And I got a great assistant too, Tegan. So we did homegrown down the stretch.
Right.
Right.
That's the most time.
You can get coffee and so you go rough up some of them guys and
Yeah, we need coffee for sure. We need a
Player or coach?
Both. You can be a player coach.
Okay. So coffee ain't done yet.
No, he's still guy. Man, he's still guy.
I know he gonna be in the shape of his life right now because I know what he's dealing with right now. So I know he in shape.
Yeah, he running about 5 miles a day. He'll be all right. He good.
Yeah,
he'll be good.
Trust me, he ain't tip top shape right now.
That's the machine. Yeah, that's the machine right there.
Yeah.
I look like I in a 10-star hotel, man. What?
That's true. That's true.
It's a big time hotel.
I don't pay business. This man you been in the jacuzzi, man. This man about treat. He doing a treat. You got practice at 2 a day. He doing 3 a day. This man doing 3 a day.
If this jacuzzi bed and say going, I don't know to wapa water baths. I been in this thing every day.
I believe you.
I'm about to go in there after I come out with I ain't playing.
Last night I was watching a movie. I hearing T and so I'm like, oh shit, he drunk. It's like, okay, you hear that he probably just breathe water. Or whatever they see, yeah. I see the little kid in bed sticking out.
If you need a towel man, I ready, and if you need an equipment manager, I ready,
Man, everything everybody will contribute. I need a dynamic manager. Trust me.
Yeah. We gotta get this.
Tegan, here what I was saying is right. My uncle take all the height in the family, and that he used to play basketball with you guys. I ain't got nowhere with that. So I'll be the water boy.
Okay, cool.
Andy is my uncle. Andy Hobart is my uncle. So
Andy's your uncle?
Yeah. Andy yeah, you learn some more stuff, man.
Man, hey,
I swear I know that.
So that's his sister. Is that from your Andy? Okay.
Wow.
All right.
And Bo
actually drink beer on the podcast because I over 3 hours.
And Bo is actually my niece, my teacher right now. So I hope she's doing good.
Use his niece, math teacher.
Wait, which one of it?
You got Jaguar in your class?
Yeah.
That's my niece.
Yeah. Okay, Nia. Okay, you said Nia. Okay, yeah. All right.
Okay. I just learned this tonight that this man used to live Lorraine.
Wow.
Watch out, Artie. Since you tell me that I done been through all your picture them, just trying to see something, my son, that I can remember this man. I can't believe I know everybody that come through Lorraine in my time, and I just cannot. And this man lives so close. Honestly, this man lived like 6 or 7 doors from me, and I just cannot remember the man's face.
Yep.
So this you don't know how much this. I don't call my brother since we talk about it. This thing is racking my brain, yo. But I go find out. I something that reminds me.
You just met Artie, pal?
Man.
Yeah.
He slipped through it so quick. He was like, "Yeah, I lived Lorraine for 3 years. I live Wim. I live Frederick." And I said, wait. Roll at the back, man. You used to live Lorraine? He said, "Yeah, I used to live in Billy 18. I was like wrong 92. I was like, 9.
Yeah,
man.
You.
Yeah, Mr. He got me stuck. And I mean, when I tell you the man lives so close, and he naming everybody that he naming, I know. Why I can't remember this man, I for the life of me, either he was just so small, I don't know.
You got a company house, you know what I mean?
So here's what I'm saying, right? So as I tell y'all, when I reached the high school, I was 5 feet nothing. Man, I was so happy that Genix had me doing these jumps, these sets of jumping that summer going into 10th grade, because I think he had me doing like 10 sets of 10 every day. I stretch out and I get to 5'5" in 10th
Wow.
grade. Happy. I won't taller no, but I was taller than 5 feet for sure.
Yeah, that's a good size.
I'm 5'9" and a little bit. I ain't exactly 5'10". So like I tell you, Andy take all the damn height in the family.
Andy is huge.
So what year you went complex? I know I missed all of that because I came on late. What year you went complex?
I came to complex in 97 and I graduated in 2001.
97. I ain't still there, Tegan?
No.
I got 97. Yeah, I don't got it.
I know, okay, we're in class now.
Tegan,
He was 1 year behind me. When I left, he came in.
Yeah.
Tegan, you were still in complex when I was there.
Yeah, because I finished 98.
Yeah.
Right.
Through that.
Right, definitely.
Your senior year, his freshman year, yeah.
Yeah, he was a young legend in the making.
Facts.
I could take that.
Yeah, he was a young legend in the making.
I want to shout out Mr. Miller.
Beat up Essential that year.
You said what?
That year, 97, I won the baseball championship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Central and St. Joseph.
That's the year. That's the year Rudolph and Pika come and save Aya.
But they take blows that year.
Spot watching right now. Spot gonna be trolling me.
Yeah, they take blows that year. A lot of blows.
I know one thing. Me never lose in baseball in complex. So Central Tech blows a lot of times. I can say that.
I believe you.
I still had a lot of respect for them because a lot of them guys were my teammates too in the other league.
Facts.
I believe you. But with two legends, it was gonna be tough. You are Mumba.
Yeah. He had some rough dudes and then team because you still had Neg too.
Yeah, I was gonna say Neg.
Mumba, Rudolph come and save you too?
No, Rudolph, that wasn't Artie that year. That was the first year complex open Rudolph.
Okay.
Yeah. That was 95.
I thought we got to our quota. What the hell going on? Artie really gotta be a legend, brother. Because we just came back from the gym and I just tell Paul, let me check see if these man still target was on.
We was under 2 hours until you come on, Tegan. We was under 2 hours until you came on. You push it over 3 hours. We go in the tape and you gonna see.
Thank you, Mumba.
We had just he had just give his Fab 5 and everything, and then you came on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to give respect, man. I have so much respect for Artie. I love what he's doing, and even I know I probably don't mention this a lot, but he does a lot with the community, umpiring. He's always around giving back. I mean, that's what it's all about. Facts. I always just keep giving back. So I have so much respect for him, man. So I had to jump on. I really had to jump on. I said, man, so happy for you tonight. I didn't see the episode because obviously I was at the game watching Cuba get destroyed. But Cuba get destroyed.
By who?
From DR.
Mm-hmm.
And
they beat by 36.
By 36, they get shellacked.
Jeez.
Damn. Cuba got a dude on that team that can jump. Probably the highest vertical I've ever seen with my 2 eyes.
Oh God.
What?
He can jump over a mountain.
While mountain. He could jump over a mountain while mountain jumping?
Yes. No, hey, watch man. No bullshit. See the man that ball to you. No. He is the highest jump I've ever seen in my life.
I might not come. I seen them kind of apps.
So wait, the only person I see that had a crazy vertical and he wasn't the tallest person, and I wanted to make sure I mentioned his name, was Artie. He was a short dude that had springs or trampoline in his legs. He could jump higher than me.
That's Hanin. But Hanin is so small, it make it look like he could really jump for real. But this dude is 6'6", and he tall. Like me and him, son. I never seen nobody jump like that.
Wow. So that man need to raise the rim.
He got 40 plus.
Yeah. And he don't even run off.
not to change the subject. Mumba and Artie, I don't know if I talk about this. I you see Nate Robinson get knocked out this weekend.
Oh my God! He was see Mo last night. Mo
The
was crying.
memes are everywhere.
Oh my God, my
I
son.
laughing. Mo like, no man, Tegan. No, he dead. The referee fouled.
But the second one I watched it, I said, I say no, the man, I give credit. He's a brave dude.
Yeah.
Because when you know that second knockout and the referee tell you okay, and he say yeah without watching the referee, right? So the man don't check in, and then he said after that you know what coming.
Yeah.
After he just found in the face. So
he been on the floor just as long as Pacquiao.
The whole basketball wall went them on and they said, basketball players, stay on your backside of the basketball. Do not cross the border. There's a different animal here.
What I want to know is if he a broke or something.
And they in the background still laying down.
Hey,
Sad,
even when they put him up on the chair, he couldn't even stay on the chair good.
That was
So
gone,
he ain't
brother.
no sitting down. That's a thing.
Oh my
That was
God.
gone.
That was one of the fun. That was the fight last night. The other fight with Tyson them. Oh
Wait,
my God.
I just see it last night?
No, we get to watch the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, DR is like yeah, DR the guy the man showed we didn't have to pay no pay-per-view. But we stay up to watch the last fight. No, sir. Nate Robinson was the fight, brother. That was it.
That is
I think he a broke man. He had to go and be a boxer.
Man, he ain't look like he had any kind of training, son. He was just left hand beat and bend down. Me and all the shit he was doing, son.
You're right. The punches he was throwing Joel fight better than he.
These are brother. Yeah,
he was that bad. Really, really that bad.
Anything with his name or his picture definitely had ratings this weekend for real.
Yeah, he better never try that again, my son. Never.
No. He said he want a rematch.
That's what you say you want a rematch, yeah.
He was dazed. He was back when he said that.
I don't know what you were thinking.
He go get a rematch.
Man.
He go get a rematch, but you know, don't got EMT each kind of I want that kind of you gonna fall. So you yeah, I got EMT each kind of.
Man, I actually hear Steve, they crushing you just man, so I almost dead.
Man, that was crazy though.
Steven, go ahead.
One thing I want give a shout out to class of 2001. We about to reach 20 years, and I want to say we're actually the class that created the alma mater for Complex. So that was created 6 years after Complex was built. So we approaching this coming June gonna make our 20 years out of high school. So I want to.
I have a COVID party.
I don't know what we're gonna have because I saw some stuff a while ago in Atlanta, and I'm just like, what are they doing? But it seemed like getting a COVID for real for them. But I don't know. I know we were planning to do, but I don't think that's gonna happen. We might have to have a post 20-year reunion or something. Is what I can probably say about it.
I gonna got Zoom call at your party.
Yeah, tell you. DRA look like they understand what COVID is, son. Them they got stickers and stuff like that, like 6 feet. But anything goes, son. Okay, man, don't give a fuck.
When you go to the airport, between each 6 feet mark, there's about 3 months.
But that's any airport. That's any airport. Because when I was at Orlando Airport, even Miami Airport, when I was on there, like nobody ain't wearing no mask. Nobody ain't wearing, like you wear the mask to get in the building, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a two-edged sword, Mr. Okay, then you have to put your finger on the fingerprint thing. Everybody putting the finger, nothing.
That's true.
Dude.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
They lag you in.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, like I said, all this thing just looked like a big host to me. I was on a bunch of people dying now, vaccine ready.
Yeah.
So they said they got a vaccine now?
Yeah,
They
man.
keep saying 94% ready and all these other crap they put on TV. Like the vaccine is gonna save the world. You know I ain't believe in that, but that's where they pushing out.
Yeah, that's what they pushing for real.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We just gotta just stay safe and just stay strong. You know,
Facts.
It's a collective thing, man. Everybody got to play their part.
Yep. Especially when President Trump get back in, that is crazy.
Could I get
Trump ain't leaving.
Oh boy.
my boy sent $3 million for recount, and he's still and each numbers went up higher after the recount of how much he lose by.
Me, I don't know if he want to re-lose, but he doesn't stop. And that's the
Yeah, we'll see. Well, you guys in the States, you know I pray for but I didn't Florida, so I good. I didn't red state. So I'm good, man. I ain't got no problem. Even though Pang Lane, a little blue area, Jacksonville, you're still a red state. You're good.
Yep, these people here is Trump fans.
Yeah, you're in a serious red state. Georgia, which is kind of surprising, but Atlanta is mostly blue, so
maybe they fed up.
Yeah. They were listening to Bounty Killer. But it's all about you, man. I'm about to jump in this jacuzzi. I love you like a brother. Keep doing it. See you guys when I come home. Thank you guys for giving me this opportunity just to give my praises to Art, man.
Anytime,
and the best smile and St. Croix. When you see Art, no matter how pissed you be, once you see Art, brighten up your day. Smiling.
You gotta make sure.
Mumba, this talk face all the time. Hey, Pang, you remember Mumba was in school? I always screw face.
I always screw face. Actually, I remember was a bad man.
I'm a change man now, man.
I don't tell her from day one. Mumba was a bad man.
I'm a change man. That's
you talk when you come from Harry Gun.
Some of them fights, some of them big fights are Art and Mumba leading the pack, man. That man is a bad man.
We can't be saying these stuff on we can't be saying these stuff on the podcast.
Shoot, that Joe. Hey Joe, how you doing?
Hold up.
Jolie, that's not facts, Jolie. Jolie, that's not facts. Come on.
Wait.
Jolie.
Here's what I gotta say, right? I got tagged about something that happened because I witnessed it with Mumba, but it gonna turn to something good. So I got you, Mumba. Just remember this. I got you. So Mumba was the first little leaguer I ever saw got ejected out of that game. I never forget that. He got just hear me out though. So he was the first one to get ejected, and he changed his life around. And that's why I always used to tell him, you need to come back to St. Croix and let these youth man hear your story for how you used to be to how you are now. So what you gonna say, Mumba? Big up to your growth.
Thank you, Artie. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Artie, your sister accept my friend request, and I know exactly who your sister be.
Okay. I figured you would know.
I know exactly who your sister be, and I remember her from Laurento because your sister was quiet. I used to always see her walk into school. She used to have like a bag. She didn't have a backpack. She used to have like a bag on the side, and she used to always be walking to school. And I know your sister real good. Like,
okay.
Not know her, but like
you good.
Right.
You good. I figure you probably want to know me. I was much younger.
Right. I agree with that because
I don't think we were in school together. Me and you weren't in school together.
So you got make sure you tell them people over there they have to tune in to the podcast.
Yeah, but we have to have a Spanish version. Who will do the Spanish? Not because your last name is Rivera. You don't know shit. You don't know nothing about Spanish.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Jolie, thank you, Jolie. Jolie, thank you. I appreciate it. Tigana can speak Spanish. What are you talking about?
Okay.
¿Qué pasó? Oye, tranquilo, Tiga, tranquilo, okay, tranquilo. Hey, yo español poquito, okay, poquito español. Yeah. Poquito, poquito malo, okay, mi español poquito malo.
You good, man. You good.
Hey, I played Puerto Rico for 3 years. I know Spanish, I just don't say anything.
Right?
Yeah.
Mumba, you just gotta tell he just say bastante and you're good. Right there.
OMG.
I lose me a joke.
All I tell him is, I know enough. That's it.
That's all you need.
Yeah, just a little bit. Enough. And you're good to go.
Well, toast to you, Artie. I stay safe. Hopefully, I'll be back next week on the pod. And I'll definitely try to rewatch some of these podcasts I missed because I missed a lot. This week I've just been crazy, but man.
Yeah, man.
It's been crazy. But
he's a busy legend. That's what happened.
Representing our nation and we're doing it well. So big up the VI nation. Be proud of the national team. Got a long way to go, but we're playing amongst the trees. The smallest nation in the whole competition. Only 100,000 people come fighting against the millions and the millions. And we're holding our own. And we one win away from qualifying to the next round, which will be the America Cup 2022. That will be all the top teams in our hemisphere. So we're right there. We just need one more win. It ain't gonna be easy because one of the wins gotta come between Dominican Republic and Canada. We gotta get one of them. So we'll see.
Good luck, man.
Good luck and congrats to you on ball, man. Good luck and congrats.
Yeah, we'll keep it going. I'll get in shape and I can link out.
Yeah, man. Be safe, man. Safe travels and everything, brother.
Yeah, I coming back with a lot of Cuban cigar. I might send some in a mail.
I get in shape to carry the cooler.
All right, man. Later.
Yeah, man. Be safe,
Good night,
brother.
man.
Much love. Much
Hey,
love.
yes,
Much love.
So Artie, like, let me go down some names that who you want to see interviewed. Who you think would be a good interview viewee for the show?
Okay, so I wish Tegan was still on for the first name I going to call because he's an elder, and that's his father-in-law, Risco Davila.
Risco.
Risco, much respect to Risco. I'll tell you why I mentioned Risco. Risco is the first coach that I ever had, and this was a St. Croix team, fast pitch softball. He's the first person that told me I had power, and he was able to pull it out of me. So from that tournament, I was hitting some bombs in the fast pitch tournament, and he helped me to bring it out. So definitely Risco would be one of them. Cristobal Encarnacion would definitely be number 2 for me. The other guys that have already been on the show, I don't have to mention them because they already got their opportunity. So I could exclude them. I can go through a few names real quick. Kai Shang, you know Kai.
Yeah.
Dwayne Brannigan.
Yep.
Makil Rajas, I talked to he this weekend. I was playing flag football this weekend. And all he's talking about is that if people hear his story, they're going to make people cry. I said, me want to hear that. So you need to be on this show. Stop your nonsense.
I'll call this, man. Today's what? Monday? I'm going to call you sometime this week, man.
I believe he was texting me and he probably screenshot the podcast with me being on it. But I talked to you this weekend. I was playing flag football in Apollo Legion tournament this weekend. And I said, dude, you need to be on a podcast for sure. And let me just say this here. Mumba, Neg, and Makil, when them man are 15, I thought they were superhuman. Them man were always bigger and taller than me. But this day, I remember them man in Pali Joseph Stadium, and I gonna use the word effortlessly, pick up a baseball from home plate and throw the ball over the right field fence like it were close, like 300 and change feet away. And them man didn't even like grunt or nothing to throw the ball over the fence. I said, that's some crazy elite stuff right there. I said, these men got to be professional athletes at some point. And nobody would have been able to tell me that. I'm glad I was able to see it. I was 12 years old, think I'm getting ready for my All-Star game, 11 to 12. And I saw that and I said, holy crap. And I said, I got man that grunting and they ain't even one bounce in the fence. These man trade like nothing. And I gonna talk about this one more thing because I played with Mumba 1 year in Man League. He had a day we were having batting practice in West. And me and Mumba were shagging ball in the outfield. And somebody hit the ball off the center field fence. And Mumba was like, hey Artie, watch this here. Pick up the ball from dead center, and you know that's like Death Valley in West. This man tried one bounce and a line to force to home plate from dead center. I say no way. But again, if I didn't see it, I probably wouldn't have believed it. I see this man had a cannon of an arm. So when Mumba first told me that he had got drafted in 2001, I didn't have a doubt about it, and I was just happy that he actually was able to play pro ball and live up his dream. Even though basketball, people are more known for basketball, I know Mumba had a lot of game in baseball, and you were good for a pitch player too. So
I didn't learn that until I was in college, and I would hear about because he was still home doing his thing. And I just remember the day I heard that he got signed. Everybody was just talking about it, and because it was big.
Yeah.
Mumba was a freak of nature when it comes to talent. The only other sport I played was football, and I played it for 3 years in complex. So that I did play football too, but ain't nothing compared to my baseball career and whatnot.
Yeah.
But Mumba is the all athlete for sure, because I think if he had another sport that they just created, he'd have probably been great at this.
Volleyball.
Yes, exactly. You know,
thanks for the love, man. I appreciate it, man. You know, it's just competitiveness, man. That's all. You know.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So just want to win.
Let me go back to the names, real quick. So I think I stopped with Makil.
Yeah.
Tyrone Lake, Neg need to be on this show. He need to stop his stupidness. He need to come on this show and let we hear his story. I gonna go through.
Neg, that's my brother. Big up to Neg.
Big up to Neg. I call it the mirror, and that's how it is. That's how we understand each other. But big up to Neg. Akeem Francis, known as Harry Jack, he's from St. Thomas. Deshaun Heavy D Brooks, St. Thomas as well. Leroy Kilo Thomas III, St. Thomas.
I gotta contact him. I forgot to contact Kilo.
Cantobal and Canacion, which is Maching's son. I want to say this too. Big up to all my catchers. Anybody that ever caught me in any division, man league, whatever the case is. Big up to them. Anna Marie Encarnacion, Patricia Smith, Kenny Milligan, Rasan Faster, and Leroy Cricket Henley, I believe is his last name. Mumba, you know Cricket. Cricket used to announce the games for Little League.
Yeah, man. It's cricket.
A heap of sparrow and all salvage sweet on a Sunday, and me as a child don't even know what that mean. And they playing all this stuff, but I think it was amazing for me to actually come back to the sport and still hear cricket bringing games broadcast wise. I know cricket got some age, and I think cricket in the 80s, and cricket was still doing it. I said, wow.
I think you talking about young cricket, because
I don't know who that one is. This cricket I talking about
basketball. I know.
No, I think he used to work Vitelco. Back when I was Vitelco.
No, you got your right cricket, but I think about somebody else when you say he named. I put me on somebody because I play against that cricket, but you on your thing.
Okay. And
I think that's his father though, honestly, because I think the cricket I know his last name is Henry.
Okay, I don't know his kids, so I really want to know that part there. One more name I forgot to mention, and I think he had a lot to do with my development as a pitcher, which is Geronimo Newton. Just real quick, when I used to play in that league in Vieques, me and Maki used to go over, as I said earlier. It had a point where anybody take too much of a piece, I picking them off. And he's responsible for my great pickup move from the left-handed side of the pitcher's mouth. He taught me, I had to call it a back move, but it don't get called a back, but it's a very damn good move. And he taught me it. And I think Makila get to the point where he said, don't throw the ball to first base. He want to throw out somebody. So in other words, you were getting bored. So I just be like, okay, I just need to be quicker to the plate so he could get one to throw. And man, he used to throw runners like crazy over there. That man used to stop running. That man ain't wanted nothing with that at all. Real talk. So Makil Rajas, if you're listening, stop your foolishness. Get hook up with Mumba. You need to be on this show. So I could hear the rest of your story. I know a lot of it, but me know the gaps in between, just like some of the stuff that Mumba had mentioned with his story. I know most of it, but I didn't know the little spaces in between the gray areas. So I learned something else when more attacking. I also want big up a few other guys if it's okay with you guys.
Yeah, go ahead, but give your shout outs.
It's your moment.
Okay, so this is my thanks, my gratitude, and if I gonna apologize now if I forget anybody. Jose Robles, that's the manager for Jackos. Elroy BB Bates, he need to be on the show too. BB was my first pitch coach manager, and he's also responsible for batting practice a lot of times. Real Saki, he's an inspiring individual. He was already on the show. Mumba, of course, you. I touch on Derek Miller, Alvin Rosario. He contributed to a lot of my success at hitting when I was in high school. We used to work on it. Eventually, it got me to where I needed to be hitting wise. Kareem Dennis, Kevin King, they were my 15 to 16 coaches. And I think Kevin King used to be a minor leaguer. Rally Bob Watson, that's Ronaldo Farah. He was my coach in DR with Machine. Big up to GB, Judge Bailey.
Big up GB,
Joel Rodriguez, Edwin DeWeer, Michelle Green. I mentioned that she was the one responsible for me starting to coach females.
Yeah.
Any catcher that has ever caught me, big up to them. The Vikings, the Jackos, the Hummers, Players Choice, that's the name of my women's team the first time. The name changed 2 other times to New Edition, Hard Work, and then Wildcats. I named Wildcats because I went to Cookman and that's where our mascot was.
BCU.
So to my Little League Cubs, that was my first team. I officially coached, and I coached them with Joel Rodriguez. So both of us were either one were manager and one were coach for the different division. And I coach a White Sox team in junior league, that's 13 to 14. I don't think I'm missing anybody right now. One more thing I wanted to say, it had a point in my manly career that I felt that nothing could replace it aside from all the wins, all the championships, is the year that I actually got to play with my little brother. And my little brother is almost 11 years younger than me, but I think what made it special for me is I was able to be there when he hit his first home run. And I think that's shortly when Manly transitioned into aluminum to wood. And when he hit his first home run, my next at bat, I hit one.
Wow.
So that's a special moment that nobody could tell me was going to happen. And I wasn't trying to do it either. It just happened.
That's amazing.
So that's something that if I could take anywhere with me, that's a great memory for me, along with winning a championship with him as well. So big shout out to that moment, my little brother. And I know he used to always say he had a call ball and nobody can hit him Manly. And I think he was right. But one thing I say, if anybody that I coach was a student, I would say him. Because everything that I learned as far as calling a game, hitting, and his main position was catching, was definitely that. He could call a good game, he could receive, throw out runners, and whatnot. So big shout out to my brother, Sean Matos. You can check him out on YouTube too. He's my cousin I call him the Eye. He's a great photographer. And that's local talent. So big up to that.
Yeah, man. Send me his information so I could put it on the promote
For
it and
sure.
stuff. Big him up. Yeah, man. Man, Artie, man, this was amazing, man.
How your nerves? You say you were nervous in the beginning.
In the beginning, my son, but mama help it, my son. I ain't even had to drink nothing, my son. I see my boy Tegan with a cup. I just been like, yeah, that's probably apple juice, right?
Yeah, apple juice.
Well,
I
this is home, man. No need to feel nervous. This is home.
you know what? No, you said that right. I spoke to somebody earlier this afternoon, and they tell me I need to make sure I give them a shout out to Carrie Ann Shepherd Johnson. She said, don't forget me too, you know. So I hope she's still watching the show.
Oh,
Carrie Ann, may forget you.
that's one of our faithful. So she definitely watching.
Big up to Carrie Ann. Big up to Carrie Ann.
That's a win massive too. That's a big win massive. Wim is the biggest estate and St. Croix, but a lot of talent pass through there too. You know, I think one of the other great things that happened with me with Sabal, I get to meet Midre Cummins. Midre actually played in a few tournaments with Jackos as well. And especially the youngsters and stuff. The young man Julio Carmona, known as Donra, that just passed away in June by Home Depot, the vehicular homicide.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, rest in peace to that young man. Yep.
Yeah, he got to meet Midre, I think it's last year, and what you call it? He got to speak with him, ask him about his career, this and that. One thing Midre that I always do, Midre that let you hold his World Series ring. And the great thing about Midre, even I didn't mention him as my top favorite players, he won the World Series with my favorite players. So that's a big thing for me now. Randy Johnson, Grace, and Midre on the same team. So I'm glad that all of that happened in one. You know, that was real cool to me. So big up to Midre. And I can't forget my boy Colin Williams Sr. He was my little brother. Like, I treat him when he was alive like how Mama was to me. My last year in Little League was his first year in Little League. So he was like my little brother and I was like his big brother. So rest in peace to Colin Williams. I used to call him Albert. That's a long story, but everybody used to call him Bolsa. But big shout out to my boy. He rest in peace.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace, definitely, man.
R.I.P. Well, I definitely learned a lot, even though I was not on with you guys. I was watching in my car all the way here, so I heard most of the stuff that the way how you started. I definitely learned a lot. I'm glad to know that you formerly lived in Lorraine. It's always good, you know, coming across a Lorraine man. You know what I'm saying? Because we're unique. You know what I'm saying? But you know, this was definitely good. I'm glad the nerves went away because, like I said, this is home. You know, you just come in to shoot the breeze, just like we sitting down at one of the steps in Lorraine talking or playing dominoes or cards or even playing baseball in the field. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was definitely. Go ahead.
Question for you, Pang. So I always get this discussion: is Lorraine Grove or not?
No.
No.
Okay, that's usually why I'm here, and I just feel like it's right there, but the address is a State Pleasant.
I'm gonna show you a vibes though. I'm gonna show you a vibes. When you there in Lorraine, you know how like when you're doing like Snapchat and so on, you swipe and it'll show where you actually there. It don't say Lorraine Village, it'll say Grove Place. So I don't know. But
I know the address for Lorraine is Estate Pleasant. It don't say Estate Grove Place.
It don't say Grove Place.
Yeah.
But honestly, Grove Man is really who to be more. They don't gotta make sure you said they don't say Lorraine in Grove. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just interesting. I not too smile for that, but I get it.
Right. But hey, it is what it is. Lorraine is Lorraine, and I proud to say from Lorraine Village. You know what I mean? So.
Got you. I think I was more passing through. I would more call myself a woman than anything.
Hey, 3 years is good enough.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Maybe I could get a pension out of it, right?
Right. You know what I'm saying? If we got a reunion, you're invited.
Yeah. Uh, big shout out to some of my close friends too. Kareem Ferguson serving our country. He's in the Navy. He should be finished with his tour next year, August. Hope God protects him. My good friend Dana Thomas in Georgia. I know they got the crazies out there. That's my road dog, and Zakia Salaman. That's my home girl from St. Croix. I always got my back. I always got my best interest.
Why that name
And
so
I already mentioned Bright Eyes already. So she gonna get a second plug. I guess I'll be getting some good stuff out of this year. Big up to Bright Eyes.
Who's Bright Eyes? What's her real name?
Nah, Bright Eyes. That's why I say it like that. That Bright Eyes. There's a reason for that. So her name is.
When I think of Bright Eyes, like people used to always call me Big Eye. You know, I guess I'm Big Eye.
No.
My mother
Bright
I
Eyes.
got bright.
Bright Eyes watching. Big up to Bright Eyes.
Big up to Bright Eyes.
I got Bright Eyes, and my eyes ain't big. So that's when you said Bright Eyes. That's what I thought of. Maybe she got some big eye.
No, sir. This is a precious gem that should be close to compare to a diamond or emerald. That's why I go set at that.
This guy trying his game on, brother. Look at this man.
Hey, they coming from here, though. They coming from here. That's why
I love it, Artie. Much love to you and Bright Eyes, man. You know.
Yeah. And they got to my little sister. I don't know if she's up. Clarice, Cyril, and Nia. I just mentioned that Bao is my niece, my teacher. So big up to them. Me, I don't know. I don't think they would be up. They home though. They in St. Croix.
Big up to them. Bo, make sure you pass. Make sure you pass his niece. By the way, Bo. If you watch this, if you hear it, if you listen, make sure you pass her.
Yeah, I agree. Mumbai, I agree with you on that. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
You know? So yeah. Any other shout outs, Artie? Any other before?
I think I call all the teams I ever play on. So that's including all the players too. Cause that'll be too much to mention. You know what? One more. Big up to the Umpires Association. It's still going, and that's the only way baseball could keep spinning for softball. Because if you ain't got no umpires, you ain't got no game. And I can just say, I would like to see some courageous fans to join the association, so that them older guys could actually retire. So that nobody ain't gonna say this old man still calling stuff, he still can't see and this and that. Nah, let's take that great courageous step, guys. If you guys are baseball or softball fans, it could be men or women too. Come be an official. Come learn the game, read a rule book, watch Major League, ask questions, be a part of it. You know, it's easy to point fingers, but when you're in the dungeon, it's a different story. And big shout out to Steve Paris as well. That's out of St. Thomas. He could be on your show too. I think he have a nice little story. He actually created an opportunity for me to umpire in a Caribbean tournament in St. Thomas a few times. So nice. Big shout out to Steve Paris.
Big up to Steve Paris, definitely.
I think that's it. I ain't think anybody else to pick up right now.
Well, hey, you got the most shout out so far, so you know, much love to everybody you shout out to Artie for real. You know, big ups to your family and shout outs to your family, your parents, everybody as well, to all your extended family and all, man. Mm-hmm. You know, so definitely, man.
You are no Ruben Ben for Artie? Ruben, Shamal, Rashiba, Rashmal.
Was it that's in Lorraine?
Yeah, Bloodman.
I probably gotta see a picture of them too, and it probably a picture from back then. I could tell you real quick who I remember other than the Danawas. I remember Annika. I had a cousin named Nishi that was a door down from Annika. Jendai, Wana, Jaisha, and Jaha, Jaisha, and Jendai. I think that's the three sisters. I think they had a cousin named Vern or Vaughn, something like that.
There
you go. Yeah. That's all I remember right now.
Shout out to all the fans them that tune in. I could talk about this off camera.
Word.
Big up to all the fans for tuning in, supporting Artie. on his episode 51. So much love to all the viewers. I know a lot of you guys stayed the whole 3 hours and 49 minutes now. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your commitment. Thank you. So I just want to acknowledge you guys and everybody who came in and asked questions and stuff like that as well. Appreciate you guys. Next episode is Sunday. I'm about to say it's 5 p.m. Eastern time. So it's going to be Atlantic Standard Time, which is VI time, which will be 6 o'clock. Not sure, but we're going to have former Major League Baseball player from the Virgin Islands, Jerry Brown. That's his schedule for Sunday. So, if nothing happened, throughout the week and he's still available, then, that's the next guest as well, too. So I just wanted to let you inform everybody and, appreciate you guys tuning in as well, too.
Yes, all right. Go ahead.
Tegan, he listening right now. Big shout out to the Elite Podcast. Thank you for having me. As I said earlier, I feel humbled. I feel flattered by the gesture. But thank you. I'm grateful that somebody wanted to hear my story. Because as I always said, I feel like as an underdog. I've been an underdog from the time I started playing baseball. So thank you, guys. For real.
No, man, you're welcome, brother.
Facts.
Welcome.
And we appreciate everybody, like Mumba said, for sticking around. As I always say, there's no us without you. And see you Sunday. You said Sunday, right, Mumba?
Yeah, Sunday.
You better send me a text, you hear?
Sunday.
But he do send me messages before I just didn't have my iPad. You've been sending it to my iPad lately, and I want you to continue, but I just didn't have my iPad with me all day today, and so that's why I didn't see it. When I started pop up on my phone, I was like, Elite Podcast Live? What's going on? Let me see what Mumba got going on. Maybe he at his son game and he showing his son play ball. And I see like he talking like a actual interview about to happen. I was like, wait, what's going on here? But Mumbai, I totally didn't hear that if you say the last show.
No, man, we good, man. You made it, though. You made it, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Jolene. Thank you, Jolene. Carrie, thank you. All love. Good night. Karen, good night as well, too. Much love. Much love to all you ladies out there.
VA massive.
Yeah, man. Big up to Dwayne. Dwayne, big up. Yeah, man. So, okay, shout out to Jelani Richards. We trying to get him on as well, too. Deshaun, we're trying to get Deshaun on as well. Got to contact Kilo. So I appreciate everybody tuning in once again. Artie, appreciate you, man. Appreciate everything that you do for the community, man. You do a lot. So we definitely appreciate it, So it was just an honor to honor you, and show some recognition, That's how we could do, myself, Pang, and Tiga, how we could do just show the love and appreciation, So that's it, man. If anybody wants to see somebody on the podcast, contact them, ask them if they're willing to come on. If they confirm they're willing to come on, you can contact myself, you can contact Pang, you can contact Tegan or whoever. We definitely get them on. So make sure you guys reach out to them and get that confirmation, and then we make it happen. So we showing love to everybody.
I gonna work on Makila, Mumba. You work on here, I gonna work on Hito.
It's so good.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, everybody. See you on Sunday. Enjoy our evening.
Good night.
Stay on thing. We gotta talk about this Larry thing.